This is the Bertcast.
Hang on, let's see. There we go. We're just waiting for. Oh, I should probably look at the fucking levels.
Yep.
I'm here.
Check.
You are
Check.
there. We're talking.
Yep. Right here.
Perfect.
Out there.
I'm right here. Perfect. And I'll pod this down. I'm going to pod this down until he gets here. Remind me to turn his mic on.
Oh, that would help.
Oh, how great would it be if I did a whole podcast with Heffron and didn't even turn his mic on?
So this podcast comes out, and it's like, no, trust me, Heffron's in the room.
Yeah, he's here.
Those are the dramatic pauses we have.
But was it after your Showtime special that things started changing?
Yeah, I did two of them, and then I started actually selling tickets on the road. And
Was it when did you, I think your first special,
Yeah.
Snack Size, Fun Size,
Fun Size. Snack Size, that was a good name.
Fun Size, I thought was fucking phenomenal. I thought
you.
it was really phenomenal, and I was like,
Thank
this will be a game. This will move the dial.
Yeah, well, if I ever release a 15-minute special, I'll call it Snack Size.
That's what Netflix is doing now.
Really?
They're offering people 30-minute specials.
Really?
Like, unless you're Chris Rock. If you're Chris Rock, you get to an hour.
Yeah.
But if you're
But now they want
Natasha
to.
Leggero, you do 30 minutes.
Wow. So now they just want to be like, all right, if you got 30, here you go. Do that.
Yeah.
Because it's always been the standard is an hour. But
30 is a cheat, in my opinion.
Well,
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Everyone's good in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The art form is an hour.
Yeah.
The art form is, can you arc a story
Right.
and fucking... I mean, the hard part, I'm so different. So I'm so much older than you. But like, when I started headlining, Dane Cook was doing clubs.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason my first headlining gig ever was Dane Cook had to bail out of the Houston Laugh Stop. And so I got to fill it.
Those are always how you start. Like, you always start doing either fill-ins or throwaway weekends. I have two funny fill-ins, and then we'll get back to the story. The first time I ever filled in for someone was Andy Dick, because he got fired because he teabagged a guy's drink.
Wait, was that? Hang on, I'm sorry. Was that in West Virginia?
No, that was at like the Irvine Improv. Was this like his closer? Was this something he was doing or something?
Jesus.
But yeah, he apparently took his balls out and teabagged a guy's drink, and the guy got mad. So yeah, and then they called me to come fill in. So that was the first one. Second one was because Mark Cooper.
Cooper?
Wait, yeah,
Mark Cooper, yeah, the black dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, Mark Cooper drove to the Irvine Improv when he was supposed to be at Bray Improv, and they didn't have at the time I lived 2 blocks away from the Bray Improv, so they just called me like, Brad, we need you. So like I just drove down. I had one of those. I was working with Bob Saget and Ian Bagg in Brea, and they're like, Jamie Foxx is holding out for an extra $10,000 on his Sunday show. We need someone to come headline. And so I fucking left Brea, drove to Irvine, got on stage, and I was on stage maybe 15 minutes, and Jamie Foxx just walked in, lit cigar, and just walked right up on stage. I was like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Foxx. I was like, I guess they paid him. I guess the negotiations came through.
That was a big thing that they used to say that black comics would do, is that they'd hold out for more money on Sunday shows.
Wow.
They go, you made more money than than our deal was right. I'm not doing the Sunday show. Tell everyone to go home. And they would, pay Sunday shows just fucking slam packed.
Yeah.
Man.
If you can sell out a Sunday, like it's always. I think I heard Jay Moore say it once. It's like if you post a photo of your show, of the early show on Saturday, sold out. Like, I sold it out. It's like, yeah, of course you did. It's your early show on Saturday.
That's the other thing, is there's a difference between selling out and letting them paper a room.
That I found that out very quick. All right, people can't hear this.
Can you hear that? Holy shit!
Things are falling all over this house.
Hey, bro, come on in.
There you go, John Heffron. Everybody,
did you hear that, Leanne? It's fucking going down.
We are here, and the apocalypse is going on around us, and John Heffron just showed up.
So we were supposed to meet at a certain time. Maybe the little guy's getting just a little gathering, try to bring the power before I come.
What time is it?
What'd I say?
2:06.
Yeah.
It's 2:10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
4 minutes late, Heffron.
I got it.
Come on.
I went over.
For a guy that has a tactical pen in his pocket, you should be more
Oh,
on
did you
time.
see that?
You have a
Yeah.
tactical pen in your pocket?
Yeah, you showed that to me when we were on the Cowhead show together.
I never not have a tactical pen on me.
Yeah,
now,
serious?
now my secret is revealed.
Shut up. What can you do with it?
You can
So
stab
it's just
people.
a regular pen.
Yeah.
Then you can write things if you were to write.
Okay.
I don't, however. I think where does the guy in the photo mat take a crap? I think, why throw that joke away? But then if you feel the end of it,
Yeah.
right, it's not sharp.
Yeah.
It's just enough if you're doing like helium in Philly and you got to walk like 3 blocks to your hotel.
I've been there.
It's just enough, maybe get you out of trouble for just like 2 seconds.
Roll your sleeves down so no one sees the watch you're wearing.
Yeah,
yeah.
so just so I don't have to bring that wine opener thing and put that in between my fingers.
because then it looks like you're Wolverine after a fight with Magneto. And he just kind of curl. I know. And everyone just went, okay, now we know who the nerd is in the room. That's me. But,
I don't know. I'm the one with the tactical pen.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with John's. John, I'm obsessed with your sort of doomsday prepness.
Yeah,
And-
it's getting even more.
Sure.
Like
Really?
I'm borderline. Yeah, it's starting to the point where my wife even said something.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So now it's not just a hobby. Now it's more of a lifestyle.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to match your fucking crazy right now.
Okay.
With my collection of fucking knives in case someone breaks into my man cave and I'm out drinking. I have knives hidden everywhere in my fucking house.
Everywhere in the house?
Everywhere in my house. Just so if someone fucking bum rushes my house, I can
Yeah.
fucking slice them
Well,
up.
here's the thing. Okay, now here I'm going to be a bit of a nut job, right?
Okay.
For
I'll bet
legal
your nut job.
reasons, let's refer to any firearms as Sling Shots.
Okay.
Just so I don't get myself in trouble. So, listen, if you're going to be a prepper, I think it's
Yeah.
important to be a silent prepper and not tell everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing. That's
Yeah.
why I never tweet about, look what I just bought. You just keep some of that stuff
Right.
to
Well,
yourself.
because when the shit does go down, you don't want everyone storming your castle.
You don't want the whole neighborhood because,
Yeah.
So,
John's got slingshots. Let's go to his house.
yeah. So the guy who I do a lot of training with, right? He comes over to my house and he shows me how to clear my house with some of my slingshots. The proper way to clear my house, right?
Okay.
That's the fuck. I just saw Jason Ellis is like taking how to use gun lessons or slingshot lessons.
Yeah.
like he's like how to fucking clear a room, like walk it through. Dot dot dot
Yeah.
dot dot
Yeah.
dot.
There's an art, and my buddy will like come to this house and he'll go, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, you're going to defend this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go into somebody else's house with a gun, you're a murderer or you're breaking and entering.
Yeah.
You're a robber. So you're a bad guy.
Right.
But here you can defend here.
See, we've got a slingshot, but we have a safety on it because we have kids. And my
Yeah.
kids are idiots. So if someone breaks into my house, I got to go. Hold on, let me find the key, and then click. Okay. I almost shot my fucking hand off with this gun. My wife's got hollow point bullets in them. So and so they fucking explode. And I'd bought the thing in Hartford, the lock, and I put it on. But I put it on. It's supposed to go behind the trigger, but I put it on in front of the trigger. So I locked it in front of the trigger,
Which does nothing.
And I'm holding the gun like this, and I'm like, let me see if it works. So I go to pull it, and I went, hold on, that's pointed at my hand, and then I was like, wait, hold on, oh my god, that's in front of it. That's in front of the fucking lock. I was like, oh my god, I would have shot my fucking hand off. I would have just shot my fucking hand off. And I was like, this is why you don't have fucking slingshots.
Well, if you would have shot your hand off in front of a bad guy, then you just have to sell it and go, what? That didn't even hurt, son.
Right.
Didn't even hurt. Now imagine what I'm going to do to you.
I'm on meth.
I'm invincible, man.
I'm shooting my dick off next, bitch.
Yeah, that when you out crazy someone, then they realize that you're more nuts than they are.
I used to have a joke about that was white boy fighting technique.
Yeah.
Was to out crazy someone.
Yeah.
And black guy's fighting technique was to talk during the fight.
Yeah.
Like a white guy talks before the fight to try to peacock you.
Right.
And then a black guy doesn't say shit. He's silent. I fought a black guy once. This is the one experience I had. He beat the shit out of me. Like,
well, back to your slingshot. There are safes that they're either biotech where you put your thumb.
Yeah.
oh, I want that for my gun.
Right. But here's the thing with that. If you're sweaty, if you're nervous, sometimes those don't work. But I got some that have I have like a book.
Yeah.
Or something. I'm revealing too much. Now I have to kill everybody listening. You put the book by the gun safe, and the gun safe will open because there's a sensor in the book. So I have a random object. Almost kind of like...
Fuck, that's what I want.
I'm kind of going for like the Bat Cave.
Yeah.
Like you play a couple keys on the piano, and then a door opens.
Yeah,
like,
because I have a car
of,
where my key, like if I'm close to my car locks.
But
so it's that.
Back to your knife thing. So my buddy was over, and we're clearing my house, and then I'm showing my wife how to, because at the end of the day, your wife, right, is you have
expendable.
to become yeah. So what you do is you push her body, you human traffic her, and you push her, and then that gets you out. But that's good. You and your wife, or whoever you live with, is basically who you're going to have to become Mr. and Mrs. Smith with. Nothing bad ever happens to you when you're with your 7 guys leaving jiu-jitsu, or your 7 buddies that all shoot. You're with your family.
Right.
It's, you know what I mean? You're with your kids the whole time saying, are we going to hit McDonald's when the guy's trying to rob you? And you're like, yeah, we'll hit McDonald's. How many? Yes, you can get the small McNugget. Now back to you, guy. What do you want from us?
Right.
So it's a whole thing.
That's why we got a bull mastiff, because she's a fucking terrorist. Meaning it's a jihad. If someone breaks in, it goes her life, then my wife's, then mine.
Wow. So she just flat out.
Oh, she'll fucking
see. All right. So you have Sling Shots and knives and a bull mastiff. You have
German Shepherds.
God knows what.
Level 1 trained German Shepherds.
Yeah.
Although if you want to rob me, come through my front door with a running vacuum, and my dogs won't do anything to you. I have a kink.
Oh, please tell me that's a joke.
No,
please tell me that's a fucking joke.
Or you look at them
God
both and
damn
you go like this. You go, you want some cheese? Like that. You have to say it in that.
And these are like German Shepherds that probably, if you say some command in South Korean, then it does something.
I tweeted this.
I hate that you just flippantly said that, and I would put that in my act immediately.
Well, I tweeted this, and I didn't even mean for it to joke. It happened. So
walk in with a running vacuum.
One of my shepherds wouldn't move out of my way, and me and my wife have a big if they're laying in a doorway. My wife will put her foot and make them move out of the way. She's very alpha male, alpha dog. She doesn't let the dogs. Nobody steps over the dogs. It's kind of a weird thing. Mm-hmm. So my dog was giving me a little bit of tude, and I go, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. And the dog lunged at me. I didn't even know that was a key, the Manchurian Candidate. I didn't even know that. He lunged at me. But it was such a long sentence to get pissed off about.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
Can I tell you,
so if you say random rap lyrics to your dog, it triggers it. Your dog might be racist.
He's weak, arms are sweaty, vomit on the sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous.
I'm doing a chunk about my dog right now, but it's all about how we've taken her to the hospital fucking 15 times. Mm-hmm. But man, one of my favorite things in comedy is when a guy gives a voice to an animal.
It's never not funny.
Oh. Richard Pryor, did you ever hear the bit about he had a monkey and there was a dog that was trying to eat the monkey, and the dog would go after Richard all the time? Did you ever hear that bit?
No.
Man, I wish I could. I guess with phones these days, that's probably fairly easy to find.
Yeah.
But but I guess his monkey died, and then the dog jumped over the fence, and the dog normally attacked Richard Pryor, but the dog's like, "Hey, Rich, why you look so sad?" He's like, "I'm a monkey died." He goes, "Oh, the monkey died? I was going to eat that monkey." "Oh, man, well, cheer up. All right, I'll be chasing your ass tomorrow." It's just a great...
So it's always the voice that guys give animals is always just insane.
I'm too lazy. I write a bit, and then I get excited about it in the bit, and it works a little bit, but I don't flush it out. I don't fucking...
Yeah,
I don't fucking do the busy work.
See,
I never do that. I gotta say that's my thing for 2017 is to do more busy work.
Yeah.
To just
I only write on stage.
Same here.
I have
Me
a
too.
thing.
All right, so
these
all
guys
three of us write the same way, and I almost hate. Do you hate the fact that you can't sit down and I'm going to write a good joke? I'm going to sit down, just me and my computer, and I'm going to write a bit because I can't do that.
I don't.
It pisses me off.
Well, what I do lately is I try to remember things that I thought were funny in the past. But as far as a joke goes, I can sometimes beat it out, get it to the story of where I know that it needs to go, but I have to take it on stage. There's something about that panic on stage that makes me write quicker.
Yeah, if you're writing, I think just at your computer when you're having coffee at Starbucks, that's not.
There's nothing on the line.
Well, that's good if you're a joke writer. If you're like
you're not
afraid
guy.
Of
it. Like that's not. It's in a vacuum. That's
Right.
That's not a real.
Yeah.
Although I started off. It's about talk about how to write comic. I did this. I was on a flight and this guy had a sketchbook. And he would sketch like a little bit of a flower. And then he'd turn the page. And then he would draw like a airplane. Then he'd turn the page and he'd add to a mountain. And he did that like 5 times. And then he'd go back to the first sketch and do 1 or 2 lines, and then flip the page again. So I asked him, I go, how do you...
That's interesting.
I go, how, you don't spend... you only spend like 10, 20 seconds on each picture. He goes, that way I don't start thinking I do it wrong. The first thing that comes to my mind, I start to do it, and then when that thought's gone, I move on to the next one. Huh. So I went to the coffee place or wherever I was, some juice place in like Phoenix, and I just wrote one sentence. The first sentence that came to mind, I wrote, I lie to every Uber driver. And then I just circled it, and then I opened up the next one, apps that made real jobs obsolete.
Yeah.
And then I went to the next one, and then I did that back and forth, and then I actually added like the Uber driver one actually turned into like a legit, and I would write like what would I lie about? What job would I tell them?
Yeah.
And then move on to the next one. What apps don't, blah, 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 blah. These are not good jokes yet, but back in my day, you used to have a roommate drive around till after you got laid. You couldn't just get into a Lyft or an Uber. You'd have to tell your roommate, dude, don't be an ass. Just drive around, wait for me.
Yeah.
And then so it just kind of, then if I had that extra oomph, I would then go back and turn it into something, but I'm going to wait for it to come to me in a dream or something like that at that point.
I wrote hi one time on stage, and boy, that was difficult as fuck.
Oh,
yeah, I can't.
I got high with Ari and Joe and Red Band,
and especially if you're smoking their stuff.
And I got on stage, and I was having really brilliant thoughts, but they were coming to me in paragraph form. So I was like, I can't express to you what I'm thinking.
Right.
So I was like, that's not. But for the most part, if I just get on stage and
I can't smoke.
If I have a cup of coffee,
and
I get on stage on an early show, man.
Yeah.
That's why I started recording all my sets, because I was like...
By the way, when you record sets, I have a great vet place that you take your sets, and then for $30 they transcribe the entire hour. You get it all nice printed out.
What?
So I record one show a week, and then I send the MP3 to them, and about 2 days later, I get it all completely written out, and I do that every week. And I have folders. Now, do I go back and look at it and see how I can edit it? No. But I do have all the sets written out.
I love how a lot of us are very busy to a point.
then
we
I
have
shit
files
out.
of jokes. Do we gotta go back and read them? No, but we have files.
But it is so.
I got them.
Yeah.
And then when you read it on paper, you'll just see how unfunny everything is.
Oh, it's horrible. That's always the most painful when you have to transcribe a set for and for those of you who are in comedy, oftentimes when you have to do a late night set or a TV set,
just for laughs, or
they make
gala.
you write out your set word for word what you're going to say, so they know about camera cues and light cues and things like that. So when you write out your set, you go, "Oh, I am an unfunny bastard." This is
it's horrible.
This is not good.
I can take that to the next level. When I did Premium Blend, they transcribed my set for me, and then Pat Buckles sat with me in the green room in front of other comics and read my set aloud and asked where the laughs were going to be. She was like, "My name's Bert. I know what you're thinking. Hot, sexy name. Do you do porn? No, I don't. Are they laughing yet?" I go, "Not yet." And she's like, Bert. Is that a laugh? And I was like, hopefully.
Well, then you realize,
hopefully, if all things go well, yes.
And she did the same to Tig Notaro.
Oh,
and I think Tig would say this. Tig and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
But of the two of us, I had a better set. It was probably like 1,300 people. I fucking crushed.
Yeah.
Tig did on a scale of 1 to 10, probably. For the live audience, I think Tig would say 4.
Yeah.
But when you watched it on TV, Tig destroyed.
Yeah.
It murdered, and I looked like a fucking panicky frat boy who's like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I really learned a lot after watching Tig, and I was like, oh, every other TV set I've done, I was like, don't worry about it. Just make sure that you say the words out loud.
And you say them correctly.
Yeah.
And you pace them correctly. You don't
When
stutter.
you see those written,
absolutely.
you see like how much of your bits are you getting laughs just because of your personality? Do you know what I mean?
It's called my act.
Yeah.
Jesus
but like
Christ.
what I think that runs into is like I do a lot of corporate events. I probably do more corporate events now than clubs.
Yeah.
And when you show up
wanna do
there,
corporate events.
you don't. Like if you're a comic, I don't even have an example of who that people are really into that guy and his persona. And then when they see him, they're going to give him a lot of extra leeway because it's him.
Right.
Now you take that away, and
Chris
I
Rock.
pluck you, and I throw you in front of 1,000 people that have never heard of you.
Right.
Now it's strictly your act has to. They don't care about your little funny podcast that you did that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got drunk. Like they could.
They don't care about your catchphrase.
They don't know
Nothing.
anything about you, so
Yeah.
you have to like
Blank slate
earn
every
it
time.
from the get go.
I did a corporate in Aspen, fucking a lot of money.
Yeah.
I was also high on Oxy, and Valium. It was the very beginning of what was soon to be a month-long addiction to them. And
Hey, good job for it only being a month.
yeah, my wife killed it. I was taking 3 a day with 3 Valiums.
I'm on hour 2. So far, so good. Just so you know.
Well done.
That's why I'm late.
I bombed so bad for this corporate. I bombed, and then halfway through, they're like, "Hey, man, we just want you to tell the machine story." And I was like, "Okay." So I told the machine story, and they're like, "All right, now we just want to drink with you. You're done." And then I went out and partied with them all night, and that's all they wanted to do is drink.
Yeah.
And fucking
And they wanted to party with you.
wanted to party with me and
they
hear the
just want
machine
to be
story.
with you.
I was
They
like-
saw that persona, and they're like, "That's who we want to hang with." Don't give a shit about your thing. Like you've done the goddamn comedy jam before.
I'm doing it again.
Yeah, it's one of the best shows. John, have you done it yet?
Nah, I don't anything social that other cool comics do.
Like, well, it's my favorite show to do. It's unbelievable.
Have you done the TV show yet?
I haven't done the TV show.
I'm doing the
Want
TV
to.
show on the 11th.
Awesome, man.
It's a lot more stressful than the show.
Yeah.
The
What's
show's
the-
fun as fuck.
What's the show?
Well, the show is you go out, you do stand up, and then you tell a story why you like a particular song, and then you perform the song with a live band. And I've noticed that sometimes when I did the show at one particular festival, they couldn't give a shit about your stand up. They were just like, "Hey, get to the part where you sing,
Dude.
That's all we want to
See,
hear."
but that's the different. Like I approach that. Like I got to text Jay Larson. I just realized I'm supposed to do Crab Feast tonight, and he has been texting me. Hang on one second.
I did the.
Don't worry about it. We'll find another date that works. I love you. So, but I approach that show differently. Like I approach that show as I'm never going to do like material on that. The concept of doing material I don't get.
Yeah.
I do a story about the song I'm about to tell. I try to tell a funny story because I'm like, oh, there's a new way to write material.
Yeah.
So like I don't like doing material at all in LA. I like doing those new crowd shows, those like crowd work shows.
Oh, was that the Jeremiah Watkins
I
show?
love that
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking love that show.
Yeah, that's where the audience just yells out a topic and you just go.
That's so much more fun than going to
Can I
the.
tell this music story? So
Fire away.
I have a pretty big bit that I've done forever, where it's basically I'm skipping a lot. That I buy stuff on Ambien and then I do a whole thing about that. And
It's surprise Amazon shopping.
yeah.
Hey,
We buy stuff on what?
on
Look what I
Ambien.
ordered.
And I
Oh,
kind
on
of
Ambien.
and I go through a list of whatever, right? And then I talk about how I became an ordained minister. And then from there, as I'm doing musical references of 80 songs, I look at a young kid and go, "You don't know any of these. Now that I'm an ordained minister, I'm going to start a church where I'm just going to quote 80 songs and not the Bible." So I do this whole thing going, and you may ask yourself, where is my beautiful house? Where is? And you can never be too shy, hush, hush. How do I? Like I just go this thing.
great.
But so right before I shot my special, I would start with "Dearly Beloved." Okay.
Yep.
Prince dies.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So
now
Prince
everyone
dies.
knows that.
I did it, and then everybody was doing that. So I'm like, okay, that's almost even hacky now. Even though I've done it for
Right.
a while,
Yeah.
I have to find a new thing to shoot the special. So then I have another bit where I talk about getting these jiggler keys, these car keys that get you in any car built prior to 1995. And the joke is, in case I want to play cassettes, and then I go in the thing, I just want to get in the cars, put in a cassette, so when they turn it on, they just hear jitterbug. And then that way I make the news. The careless whisperer struck again last night. That's the joke.
Careless whisperer struck again.
And then somebody else. And then the first bit I told you about.
Yeah.
Prince died, and somebody else, one of the bands that I died. So I shot my special, and I looked at the guy I shot it with, and I go, I just need the special to get out before George Michaels dies. My special's not out yet.
Oh, Jesus. I love this.
So,
Do you have any? Do you call anyone a scruffy looking nerf herder in your special too? Too soon?
So I was devastated. So I texted my buddy Matt, right? And I go, well, that happened before my special was released, right? He responds back, oh man, dude, I don't think it's 2016's fault. It's your joke. They will write a horror movie about that joke one day. It's like The Ring. Everybody I put into that joke passes. So now I'm like,
who else did you write about?
Princess Leia.
Yeah. Should we be on edge?
Jesus Christ.
my Fidel Castro bit was hilarious.
Dude, there was a lot of deaths right at the buzzer this year.
They
Still not over.
like, I just feel
Still not over.
Still not over, right?
I got on Facebook and I saw a comedian that we all know parties pretty hard, and I saw his picture and I was like, oh my god, not him too. But he's alive. He's in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
As am I. The first week of January. Were you the first? You have any dates to plug while everyone's still listening?
Sure. I don't know. First week. I'm going to Calgary, man.
Are you really?
In January,
dude? You're gonna fucking love it. Yuck Yucks.
Yeah.
Or the other one.
The other one.
The other one?
Yeah.
You're going to
I
fucking
should know
love
the
Calgary.
name of
Is
it.
great.
But,
I'm in West Nyack over first, and then Salt Lake City, Utah.
Wise Guys.
Wise Guys.
Oh,
I've never
love
been.
Wine. Oh,
Never been.
You're going to fucking love it.
It's one of those weird clubs where every once in a while you get like a new club. You're like, what?
Yeah.
I can do greatest hits and nobody will know?
San Antonio. San Antonio laughs. Is that it?
LOL Comedy Club.
LOL Comedy Club.
I'm there for New Year's. This is too late, probably. But
I'm posting this today.
Okay, great.
I'm posting this today.
I'm there for New
I'm
Year's.
in Oxnard New Year's. Where are you New Year's?
Yeah.
West
trade?
Nyack.
Are you really?
Yep. I love it. I was in Oxnard last week, right before Christmas. Enjoy the 3.5-hour, 50-mile drive.
Are you serious?
That's what it took me every day. But it was also right before Christmas.
It's a long one.
It was brutal, dude.
Yeah,
It was brutal.
It's that drive. It's the Hollywood.
You're angry when you get to the green room. You're angry.
It's the Hollywood to Irvine drive in reverse. Like no one ever leaves Hollywood early enough to get to the Irvine Improv. Because
I was leaving at like 4,
Christ.
and I was getting there at 7:30.
Good.
Motherfucker.
I love the fact that we're
You're
always
a little bit
working
further
years.
out than me, but
Yeah. I mean,
go 210. Now we're like that SNL.
Right.
I want you to go 210 to the 134.
Right, exactly.
To the 15.
Wait,
the
where the
4th
fuck
Street.
is Oxnard?
North.
You go to the 15, and then you go down the 15 for like a second, get off at 4th Street, and you're right there.
It says it's only like 56 miles.
Good luck.
Yep.
It's 3 hours.
And on New Year's Eve,
Save every phone call for anybody. Don't even talk to anybody until you hit that drive.
that's what pisses me off
I
about
just
Opie
start-
and Anthony getting disbanded. I used to love listening to the replay because it was 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you could get on the car if you timed it right and listen to the replay when you
Perfect.
drove.
There's
Yeah.
no good radios shows anymore. They're all done. Like every time I do a morning radio show now in a city, I just look at them and go, "Well, guys, probably won't see you next year. Good luck to you."
There's still good ones. There's
like few. Remember
problem
even
is
like 6 years ago,
here's the
where you'd be
thing.
like, "Am I doing 25 radios? I'm doing 8 hours of press before my shows." And now, like you do Denver Comedy Works, you're like,
Yeah.
"I'm up at 5 a.m. and I get done at 1." This is crazy. Now there's like, "Hey, we have like a AM sports talk kind of a podcast."
Do you know anything about cooking?
There's-
I remember I remember Brad and I were talking about this before you got here.
Yeah.
I think what Brad and my experience is probably different than yours. Were you doing the road before Last Comic Standing?
oh yeah,
Like doing like $1,200 a night, Funny Bones improvs?
I was doing. Let's see, if you go way back then, I was probably doing 200 colleges a year.
God, I never got. I missed that fucking boat.
And then, what
Same
happened
here.
to me is all those college kids now become corporate people. And
There you go.
Kind of like,
Yeah.
Hey, that guy's still around. Let's have him do our thing.
yeah.
There you go.
But,
Perfect.
yeah, so I was doing, but then I also did morning radio in Detroit.
With Danny
I moved
Bonaducci.
here, and then I got offered that gig for more money than I ever saw in my life. So I'm like, why would I not do radio? So then I went back to Detroit, did radio for 5 or 6 years, and then came back to LA with a little bit of cash and a little bit more confidence, and then like Last Comic and all that type of stuff happened.
I remember going to like places like Toledo, and you'd do good radio, and you'd sell out the weekend.
Yeah.
And that does not exist anymore.
That doesn't exist.
I was in Toledo,
Yeah.
and they woke me up early to do a country station where I did. You ready for this? A 7-minute break,
That's it.
and and he didn't even like me. Like I tried to muscle him to like me throughout it.
Yeah.
I did one once where I was on for, I'm not kidding you, 90 seconds to the point where he goes, all right, John Heffron's at the, with Toledo. And then I thought I swore, because the thing with podcasts now is when I used to do radio, you just knew not to swear. But now
Yeah.
all of us do podcasts and you can kind of swear. So that muscle of not swearing,
It's a little
I
weaker.
think is weakened.
Yeah.
So I could have, I'm like, I must have swore by accident. He's throwing me off. And then I get done. I go, did I swear? He goes, no, we've done research. People don't want interviews that last more than like a minute and a half. or so. I'm like, really? Because people listen to Rogan's podcast for 13 hours straight.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah,
you know what I
they're
mean?
binging on
That's
it.
Like,
If my podcast is under an hour, people do not listen to it. They're like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh my God, I guess you guys didn't find anything you liked.
Right. So I can knock
There
that out
is
and want to
some
drive to
good,
the
like-
bank. Like it's
my favorite is
they
you
want
were
longer.
just at the one in Florida. I saw those guys that
Paul
they,
and Young Run.
that they retired.
They were one- they were one of the good
them.
ones.
And then the one that we
They
just
were one of the
did,
good ones. Cowhead.
Mike.
Calta.
Yeah.
I had one of the funnest. You know how like you do radio. Like here's my worst thing. I hate when radio guys do. Hey, you know what, Brad? Just I'm gonna really set you up nice. Just what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm gonna set this up nice. And then you go, well, do a bit. I just got engaged. Say,
Yeah.
hey, are you married? Or are you engaged?
Yeah.
And then you start to, and then the news chick. Oh, I just got engaged. That's not gonna happen. Like,
God.
why are you?
I
you
did.
hear?
Or hey, well, Bert, what can people expect tonight? That makes me
Ooh,
bad
what can
shit
people
crazy.
expect is a
Makes
bad
me-
question.
right because you're like, well, it's a comedy show, so
Yeah,
laughing.
I don't know. Yeah,
Let's go
random
through.
masturbation. I don't know what do you want me to say to that.
Let's go through and name our favorite radio stations.
Okay.
And try not to leave anyone out.
Okay.
Because you know they'll fucking hate you forever.
Yeah.
Well, I won't. Okay, my memory's going.
Yeah, I mean, number one for me is right here in L.A. The Kevin and Bean show. Love
Oh
those
yeah,
guys.
I've called in. I've never been on.
Love those guys.
I think
And
because of the-
they still sell tickets, so it's
Really?
it's awesome.
Well, fuck, man. Why didn't I do Kevin? They probably don't play in Oxnard.
Yeah, very very little.
Here, I'm gonna name a place, and we'll go through and see if. Oh fuck, I got a new phone.
I would
okay.
say why you doing that. I would go Bob and Tom years ago.
Yeah, because now that
I just haven't done it in years and years.
well,
That's why.
and Bob's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Bob's gone.
sold
That's-
out random Bob and Tom. So
yeah.
15, 20 years ago, me and a buddy created a card game for bachelor parties called the That Guy game.
Yeah, I remember hearing
And
that.
it was every card was a different type of guy you'd see out at the bar, and you'd pass out the cards, and then you'd have to find the sweaty dancer guy, too old to be there guy.
Oh, shut
and
up.
then it was like a scavenger hunt to find guys.
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
So we were in InStyle magazine, Glamour magazine did a whole big thing because Drew Barrymore, Julia Roberts were like somebody took photos of them playing this game at this bar.
God damn it.
So we're in our early 20s. We don't know how any of this business works. We're like, we just made up a game. We didn't even know how. So I go on Bob and Tom, and this is pre-internet where getting orders on the internet and taking credit card was like kind of a pain in the
Yeah.
ass. It wasn't even. I mean, we're talking like 92.
Yeah, that's
or
when you're
3.
like literally filling out forms by hand.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I did their show,
Yeah.
and we brought up the game, and he was like, "This is the thing." We sold, no joke, from his show. I think it was close to 30,000 decks, or something
Damn.
like, from being on his on that show.
Oh my
So my
God.
buddy who lived in LA, he had a thing set up on his phone where he'd get like email, like a beep every time we got a sale. And it was like 3:00 in the morning here, and his phone was blowing up. Like, what's the deal? And I had to call him. I go, dude, wake up. But then we're packaging. We're sitting in the apartment and we're filling out, by hand because we didn't even know how to get the computer to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the power of radio back then. I don't know.
I'll tell you the power of podcasting. I had that same experience with doing Rogan's podcast when I released the Machine shirt. And my wife got an email. Her phone dinged every time she got an email from our store.
Yeah.
So every time we sold a sale, and that was like, that's a weird moment. We were sitting there, and I got back, and Leanne's like, we sold $10,000 worth of shirts. This is in the 3 hours I did his podcast. And I went,
wow.
Are you serious? She goes, yeah, listen to this. And she turns her ringer back on. It's just going ding, 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 ding.
And that's
I'm like,
$20 every time.
Holy shit, we made so much money off those shirts. Those shirts are gonna fucking funded our house.
That's amazing.
But yeah, those radio isn't. It is in some markets like Philly, DC. Phoenix.
Preston and Steve.
Yeah,
in
Preston
Philly.
and Steve are fucking great.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Who's the guy in North? Oh man, I forgot. He's like in Kansas City. No, one of them.
Rizzo.
He's like a biker dude.
Oh, Johnny Dare.
Johnny Dare.
Yeah.
Johnny Dare.
He's fantastic.
I don't think I've been to Kansas City.
Yeah,
He's
he
fantastic. The only thing
he has dogs in the
he
studio.
has dogs in the
What?
studio, but you have to do.
How's that work out for you?
I know it's scary because the dogs are large.
But you have to do like a lot of material.
Well,
Like he literally, like the comics he likes, you're literally doing a set,
kind of. Yeah.
which I'm not a
it's
big
gone-
fan of.
It's gotten to the point now where I have a radio set. Like
it's
I know
throwaway.
Johnny Dare.
yeah,
Yeah, super cool guy.
yeah. Like, and then he lets you go long. Like
He's
you can do,
fucking yoked.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I know
we
Johnny
did
Dare.
when we did Cowhead. Wait, it's no Mike.
I call him Cowhead,
But
but that's because I've
Mike
known him
Calta
for
show.
17 years.
So I went in to do it, and Brad was there.
Yep.
Did I go in like an extra day? I think I was there on Thursday, and I went back the next day.
Yeah.
And Brad was there. We had one of the funnest radio things. We talked about the same subject for how long did we talk about? Through 2 hours?
2
3
hours at least.
We didn't take one commercial break. It was one of those things where it was.
He's the best.
It was the funnest. Like
Yeah. And
the premise.
people
Can
were
I just tell the
calling-
premise?
Yeah.
That, we can never recreate it. I
No,
get it.
it was definitely in the moment.
Somebody was robbed, and I looked at Brad and I go, you know what? As a little person, here's what I would do. Like we were talking about safe rooms, right? Like because I'm a bit of a nut job. I go, you don't need a safe room. You could get like a big stuffed bear, and if your alarm goes off, you just climb into the bear.
They're never going to take
And
it.
they'll just walk by, and they just think you're a
Bear
big
suit.
stuffed animal.
Yeah,
so that's like, so you just that, and then I go, we should market safety bears for little people as like a safe house.
Yeah.
Safety bears
or
is a
kids.
great
Like, hey,
fucking-
if there's something that goes on, you hop in the safety
Get in the bear.
Yeah, get in
and
the bear.
Stay, and
How
stay
the fuck
still.
does John have so many fucking ideas? You literally are the most idea having. Do you remember we sat at the?
follow through ish guy.
I was telling Brad we were sitting at the airport bar in American Airlines back when Carl was alive.
Oh.
And me and you were just bullshitting, and you had 100 fucking ideas. He pitched me an idea that was the song, but it was like it was I have some idea, but it was based on the song that went viral with that guy on the wingsuit. Dung swing. Dun, dun,
Okay.
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. And he was telling me, this is a great song. You got to hear this song. We should do a video where we're coming out. When I was like, oh my God, there's so much. And then literally 3 days later, a month later, I see this same song used in everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Heffron.
So then that bear suit came to then we decided we're going to do a movie like a Jason Bourne with Brad.
Yeah.
Come in.
And the deal is,
Wait, hold on.
Hang on.
do we
Pause.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Give me a second, guys.
We gonna pause or keep going?
No, keep going.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I
know the
can't
story.
tell the story that you're gone now. So did you everybody, John Heffron, check me out on Twitter at John Heffron. Go to johnheffron.com. I have a new special that's probably never coming out, even though I shot it.
a few years ago.
I shot it the same time you guys all shot yours.
Wow. And then
It's killing me.
it's funny.
Killing me, man.
Ben Glebe recorded a special the same night I recorded my first one, and I released a second special before his first one came out because it just got shelved for so long, but then eventually came out. It's nuts.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I try not to get jealous. I try not to. Even my wife, like I had a thing, and I don't want to reveal. Like,
Sorry,
I know
guys.
my
All good.
agents or managers who get paid. We're with my special. We're currently negotiating to see what happens to it. But in the meantime,
Wait, are we talking about where our specials are going?
no. So you shot your special at the same place I shot mine, like a week before me.
Yeah.
Yours has been out now and hilarious. I watched it the other day.
Thank you.
Forever.
Yeah.
Mine is on the hard drive of my computer. If anybody would like to come over, I'm charging $10,000 a view. My wife will make you some nice curry rice,
Can
and
I
I'll let
tell
you
you-
watch it on my computer.
Take a tactical
so I was
pen
just
home
telling
with
him,
you.
like, where I've always been a positive comic. I never get shitty with anybody.
Yeah.
It's anybody's career is theirs. It has nothing to do with me. Blah 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 blah. But every week, I just got to vent. Every week I see on CISO, somebody else came through, and I'm like, wasn't that guy working sound at the last comedy club I was at? And now he's got a special, and mine's still on my effing hard drive.
That's the hard part is what, like, when you're like, there, and sometimes it's like what's hot. Like I get it. Like I go to I don't think I'll ever go to Montreal again. Like Montreal for me is just. It is a fucking a whirlwind.
Well, you're not a new face.
A whirlwind. Dude, I was getting out of the fucking elevator one time, and I said to someone, so cool to come to Montreal and know everyone. I remember when I came here when I was younger and I didn't know anyone, and someone goes, yeah, it's because you're old. And I went, ugh. I was like, that makes it a lot less fun.
Yeah.
And so then I turn into this, like, you see this young kid who's got all the heat, and you're like, and clearly the kid can't do more than 20 minutes, and he's had a couple good sets in his life, but everyone's around him, and then I end up sitting in the corner with fucking Ralphie and Ari and fucking Tom Segura smoking pot and getting way too drunk and bloated, and then I don't look like I'm marketable because Bert's got a drinking problem. Someone says he's the next one to have a stroke.
But then all you do is you pull out your phone and you do that hilarious bit where you read an ironic text or Facebook post from somebody, and then your alternative. That's how it goes.
I don't get caught up in it. I don't get caught up in that too much.
It's hard not to.
I do though.
It's really hard not to.
Yeah.
Like,
You
I'll
don't
tell you
wanna
what,
get jealous.
the best thing for me, in all honesty, was Tom Segura blowing up like he did.
Well, yeah, because now you have the Thomas Fat Bert is fat.
No,
thing.
that ends in a week. Well, I don't know if it's going to end,
Well, I mean,
but to
we all know
watch
Thomas
him
Fat,
explode, he's doing
yeah.
like a theater tour now, and
Yeah.
to see him blow up like that, I don't know. It was a moment of like, because me and him have always talked about money. Like we've always told each other. It was just on the phone with him. You heard me.
Yeah.
We were talking about exact downloads on what we have on our podcast. But we believe in transparency. We believe that it only helps the two of us to know what getting fucked money is and what good money is.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of clubs where you'll go in and they'll be like, hey, flat rate, whatever, 10 grand or something, flat rate, 15 grand. I'll give you bonuses on sellouts of this and that. And then you're like, and you got
By
this.
the way, the people listening, it also goes down to 1,500.
It goes down to 1,500 and it
I'm just gonna let you know.
Yeah.
And
So
some-
10 grand.
Why are you looking at every comic headlining a funny bone? That guy's making 10 grand.
By the way,
no.
yeah, I'm
So
not-
also down to 1,500.
No,
or 1,000 with no bonuses.
But there's and
Until
then,
the YouTube star comes in and then they're making 30.
don't get me started, dude.
Can I show
fucking-
you? Okay, I'm going to be listening to you, but I'm also going to pull a video.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
why I'm not paying attention to you.
I was in Chicago. I think everything blends into one story for me. I was
Yeah.
in Chicago and they had an afternoon show,
Okay.
and it was a YouTube star. He
I have the
charged
same story.
$100 a ticket.
Yep.
Is this the exact same story?
I have video of this story.
Oh, are you serious?
Yep.
Oh.
Charged $100 ticket, and then he has VIP meet and greets tickets that were $125. I'm sure the kid's nice. Listen, again,
Sure,
not
and you're not
because
gonna
here's
fault someone for
what I
making
think's
money.
happening. Not to interrupt you, but here's what I think's happening with the YouTube comics. Is us guys, the guys who have acts and whatever been around, we might be the taxi drivers and they're the Lyft and Uber. And we can put up this fight, but we're going to lose. Because the second the improvs and all those things know that those guys can fill a room, and let's say we can't, and I'm looking at me opposed to you guys, we're done.
Yeah,
there is a weird thing about that.
Yeah,
we're done.
And like I don't fault
son.
I don't fault the comedy club owners because they're business owners.
Okay, so I'm not.
They're trying to make money.
So I have a show at 7. This kid has a show at 2.
Is this in Chicago?
I decided to come in.
Was this in Chicago?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry. This was your story and not my story. I think you told me this story, and now I'm retelling it as if it happened to me.
Yep. That's a room full of people going ape shit for a guy just walking out on stage and not doing anything.
That's sold out.
At $100 a ticket.
Okay, so...
And $125 for a meet and greet.
He had sweaters that were $45 each.
Yeah.
Everyone, those kids you saw screaming, got in line for a sweater.
Who are you working with that week?
He was on stage for
10 minutes.
15 at the most.
Really?
Came out, danced in a onesie, called his dad on his cell phone, said happy birthday to somebody, and left. That was the show.
By the way, I've done that on stage before. I've definitely danced. Called my fucking wife and said, "Happy birthday, June."
Well,
I'm the machine.
Yeah, but then you were up there for at least another 45 minutes.
I was up there for another hour, but
exactly. You didn't come
Not
out there for 15 minutes.
minutes.
Do you think it's just because the people that are going to these shows, like the young kids,
they're 11?
Do you think it's just they don't know that there's an hour?
No,
possible. They
don't care.
Like they don't know. Like what? My favorite entertainer is supposed to come out there for an hour and talk to me for an hour and be entertaining.
They don't care.
Are they just used to consuming these guys in 1.5, 2 minute videos? So they're like, wow, 15? That's a deal.
Well, let's work this backwards.
Yeah.
It started with when television started disappearing. Mm-hmm. And guys who had TV shows needed to pay their mortgage, and they got into stand-up.
Yep.
And that was the beginning of the fucking of the tide.
Yep.
And now it's this. I don't think these kids understand that there are people. We did one, me and Theo Vaughn, and that's all I can remember about this experience. But we did a show with a guy named Fousey Tube. Do you know who he is?
No, but we all have one of these stories. But yeah, I'll tell you about when I did the Celebrity Theater, which is a huge theater in Phoenix, Arizona. Sold it out with me and Ralphie May. What a great show. Power lineup, just 2 killers, back to back. And we're like, fuck yeah, sold it out. And then you want to know who was there the next night? Miranda Sings, doing 4 shows, all sold out.
Dude, you want to put Miranda Sings in perspective?
Yeah.
We did the Just for Laughs Northwest Festival, and I did a theater, but not a big theater, maybe 300, 400 seats, 600 tops.
Yeah.
And I was really feeling my oats. I was like, nice, man. I can come to Toronto and pack some people in. That's great. And I talked to the ladies in charge of the festivals, the directors of the festivals.
Right.
And they're not around at my show. And I see them later, and I said, where were you guys? And they said, we were selling merch for Miranda Sings. And I go, you guys sold merch? And they're like, that's what we said at first. But then she said she'd give us 10%. And we both walked away with like $7,000. And I went, are you shitting me? She sold out an arena and sold like $100,000 in merch. I mean, just fucking crazy. Everyone dresses as her.
Yeah.
This guy, Fousey Tube, I'm being serious, man. Like,
I've never even heard of Fousey
I remember when Last Comic Standing 2 came out, because I'd done Last Comic Standing 2, but I didn't get to the house. But I ended up touring with Gary Goldman, Jay Larson, and Alonzo Bowden. I never toured with Alonzo.
London.
Jay London. Is that what I said?
Mm-hmm.
Jay London.
Which is a
and
great
that was
lineup.
the first
Just a power
time
lineup.
I had ever experienced celebrity. When I did the first episode I did where I talked about having a kid, I was in the airport. I guess it aired on like Wednesdays. I was in the airport Thursday flying to Miami, and 13 million people watched that. And I got recognized by everyone. By everyone. It doesn't hold a candle to what we saw happen with this guy, Fousey Tube. Kids were breaking down doors to look at him. Like they wanted to steal a picture. Yeah. He did a meet and greet for fucking ever. And I'll say it, I thought the guy was nice as shit. So did Theo. He wasn't a dick. And he explained to me very quickly why he was famous. He was like, I was fat, I lost weight, I struggled with drug addiction, I talked about it on my thing. I post every single fucking day, and that's what got me fame. And I was like, and he wasn't that bad on stage. I wouldn't pay money to see it, but like,
well, that guy that I just showed you, he had zero act, and I said to somebody, I go, if you're making that much bank, why would you not just pay to somebody to go, listen, I need 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and
write
just
me
pay
30.
it so that you have, and the club owner, he goes, because they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Why would he pay or even memorize stuff when you don't have to?
is there a point where they're going to go, the emperor has no clothes? I mean,
Those girls become 14 and you don't like the things that you like, but it's
well,
still
it's like because I think
we're in the wrong business. We got to
I think
create
there
like
is that moment because
Hold on.
guys, I used to be a Limp Bizkit fan. And
think about
then you get older, you're like, oh, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean-
Let me listen to the
you listen to
fucking...
Kid Rock now, and you're like, really?
But look,
You know?
look at what happened to Dane. I mean, Dane was but Dane had an act, and he was hilarious, but he was a version of that, of celebrity before comedy. Like, people were more impressed with going to the Garden and seeing Dane cook.
Not for the material that he was doing.
I enjoyed his material. I enjoyed his stand up. Like, I don't. But then all of a sudden, everyone turned on him, and they were like, there is a fickleness of this celebrity, is that people turn on you and go,
Once
fuck
you get,
that.
Once you get to a point, I think YouTube is still new enough, and the parents don't know about it yet, and they're not into it. Once it starts getting a little more mainstream, and once now this generation that's in it gets older, and now you have 25-year-olds watching
Do you
YouTube,
think
30-year-olds.
it's subject matter though, like too, like you age out of wanting to like hear, like, and again, not saying anything about any other comic, whatever. I smoke pot, but I don't talk about it. Like I could never see me being on stage for 45 minutes going, you know what? Pot's weird. Here's another thing. Like, I get that that's a bit, but do you think those 18, 19-year-olds then get 25 and go, yeah, we get it, dude. You smoke pot. Are we going to talk about it for 45 minutes? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also run the risk. I've always talked about what's going on in my life. Mm-hmm. So I have bits where I'm arguing with my wife about where we're going to be buried. It's literally probate material. And how I don't want to be buried in her hometown because I don't know anybody. Right? So it's literally like, so you're 20-something. You're looking at me going, seriously, you cannot be talking about something further away from my life right now.
Oh yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know.
That's sad because you did that bit. I'm like, yeah, that's an argument I would have right now.
Yeah, I don't want to be buried in my wife's hometown. I don't know where I want to be buried.
See?
I kind of want to be buried in my backyard. Can you do that?
You can be buried wherever you want.
Yeah, you can bury wherever you want. You could put your body in a fucking catapult and just fling it out.
They can.
Oh God, this is depressing. Me talking about burying. I can understand why you, a 20-year-old, wouldn't like that bit. But then what's the natural maturation? What did Louis and Bill do correctly that got kids and grown-ups to like them?
They're ageless in the sense that Bill Burr will be able to be 60 and 20-year-olds will still like my manager always brings this up. He goes, you had Carlin and Robert Klein, both equally funny. Mm-hmm. Robert Klein, the older he got, talked about what's going on in his life. So eventually, I got a colonoscopy. And so you're going to lose that 20 to 40-year-olds already.
Yeah.
Carlin stayed
He stayed
this
hip.
year. My big thing, I mentioned too much about my age. So this year I'm like, I'm not even mentioning it. I'm gonna try to be.
I told someone how old I was yesterday. They were 31, and they're like, oh, "I thought you were 33," and I was like, "I don't know how you fucking saw that."
Yeah, so I think that's why Bill Burr's never.
You just have to stay relative and stay funny to all ages.
Always be talking about stuff that's relevant.
Although it would be cool. I don't want to. I like doing clubs now. I like partying. I like having a good time. I love that aspect, but it would be cool to become a sweater wearing storyteller who sits on a couch on a stage. He goes, I have a tale to tell you.
The way I look at it, here's my plan. I'm about 15, 20 years away from Branson, Missouri shows.
Dude, not a bad gig.
No, yeah. But I'll be in my 60s, and there'll be older people my age, which I've always performed for, will be in front of them.
Yeah.
So I can use my same references.
Yep.
I just think getting through my 50s might be the tough part.
Because that's when the transition starts to happen.
That's no one's looking for a 55-year-old that can show Friday. Do you know what I mean? Like, not to bum everybody out.
I don't know if there's too many 55-year-olds that can do a second show.
Yeah, well, that's, you know what I mean.
But Rogan's almost 50.
Yeah.
Stanhope's almost 50.
But
like,
they're like irrelevant. But they have those. They're like champions of those younger people. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like they have an army,
And they're great. And on top of that, they're
I
just
would have an
talented.
army,
They have
but
the talent
my
to back
army
it up.
has soccer, cheerleading practice, hockey. You know, so my army's busy with their life. So that's why I'm not wasting time periscoping because everybody my age has a job that they're working at 70
Right.
hours a week.
Well, and then
trying to sell like.
And then there becomes a strange balance when you get to a certain age, and then you hear about whatever the new trend is, whatever let's for instance say Periscope. Do you want to be sort of a little late to the party, and now you kind of look like the older guy?
Like I'm looking at the new,
Yeah.
Instagram timeline thingy. Like Bert, you do, and I'm not, sucking, but the videos you do with your weight loss thing and just whatever are hilarious.
Oh, thanks.
So I'm always like, okay, I got to start doing more.
Well, I'll tell you what I
like
think.
funny, just like, hey, here's something funny, and by the way, I'm performing at blank.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at a lot of these, and I love all my female comic friends. I don't have a little dog that I can take pictures with 700 times a day.
Dude, Eliza posted a picture.
No, but not just Eliza, like
No, but-
everybody.
no,
I
but
love Eliza, and
she
I love
posted
Blanche.
a picture.
Yeah.
I think she was drunk, and her boyfriend, I guess, is videotaping her. It was on Instagram, and he was like, they're talking about Rice Krispie treats, and then he pans out, and she's in her underwear, and I was like, I'll be watching this 5 more times.
Oh, yeah.
But I know what you're saying. I get lost in that.
But I'm 40, like I'm 46. No, I'm not going to take. I mean, should I put on yoga pants and just start taking pics?
By the way, I'd fucking laugh hysterically at those photos. Yeah.
I was thinking about doing this, like going to Eliza, who I love and I
We all
consider
do.
a friend,
Absolutely.
and then there's that Kate, who I don't know super
Kate
well.
Q funny.
That I've
Yeah,
worked
Kate
with,
Quigley.
also funny.
Yeah.
You're good friends with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Love
I
Kate.
thought I was just going whatever picture they took without telling them.
Yeah.
I was just going to start taking the exact same picture.
Will someone beat you to the punch? Have you seen that girl who recreates all the
like,
fucking,
famous people?
all the she recreates I think all the Kardashian pictures, and they're fucking hilarious.
Nice.
I don't know who she is, or I'd promote her, but
yeah, but see, that's what she does for the Kardashians. You could do that for hot female comics.
like trust me when I say, and I love Kate.
Yeah.
I won't speak for Eliza, but I know Kate's still very young in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
She would trade all. She hustles. She busts her fucking ass. But she would love to have the fucking wealth material you have. Like, she's more a comic. Like, she's not just a promotional. She wants to be a great comic.
Yeah.
Here's what I always look at. I was watching like a Tim Ferriss podcast, and he had this general on, and the general said to be successful, you have to look at 3 peers in your same business. One that is older than you and has accomplished everything you want to.
Okay.
And you kind of mimic, and you kind of like stalk them, not in a creepy way, but just figure out what are they doing.
Yeah.
And then somebody who you're at the same level at, and then somebody who's new to your business or new to whatever you do, that has a fresh outlook, and you kind of go, okay, what are they doing?
And you take things
So
from
this
all
year
sides.
I looked because Eliza, who, like, again, I'm a huge fan. That girl works her nads off.
Yeah.
I'm so lazy. Like when I'm home on a Monday and Tuesday,
Yeah.
because I know I'm leaving Wednesday to be gone to Monday. I'm not leaving my house for nothing.
That's my
but then I'm
problem,
like,
too.
how do you guys
Yeah.
do sets on like a Monday or Tuesday? I'm so impressed.
I said
because
to
I'm
my-
like, I'm not driving over the hill to get up in front. You know what I mean?
I said to my therapist, one of my biggest goals in 2016 was, it's been a goal for a very long time. This is going to sound really cheesy, but was to be a paid regular at the store. I'd always wanted that. I'd never
I'm
worked
not.
there. I'd never worked there.
None of us are then.
And
None of us are then.
no, I just
Yeah.
became one
Oh, really?
this year, and
There you go.
but I said to my therapist, he said, what does a paid regular mean? I go, it's someone that works at the store. And he goes, well, you know what that means then. And I said, what? And he goes, it means you actually have to work at the store. Like, you have to go and work at the store. If you want to work at the store, that means you got to work at the store.
Yep.
He's like, so I know that you don't want to go do sets at night. You want to stay home with your family if you're on the road. But if you want this as a goal, then you need to go do this. And so I've said to myself, fuck it. Every Tuesday night, I go do a set at the store. I leave Wednesday. I'm gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I come home Sunday.
You don't do Sunday shows?
I quit doing Sundays. Because of Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz was like, fuck that dog. Come home, be with your family. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I was like, I want to drop him off at school on Monday. I don't want to come home Monday fucking hammered
Can I
from
ask
the
you this
plane
question?
flight.
If you don't want to answer because we're on a podcast,
I don't care.
Do they prorate you for that Sunday?
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, just for your sanity, I could totally see.
Because a lot of times...
Well, last year
How
I
much
was
does your
on the
sanity
road.
cost you?
I'm home. I leave tomorrow. I'm home one Monday. I'm home on a Monday. I don't know which Monday it is for the next 2 months.
Wow.
Because I have a bunch of corporates, and then I fly in on Wednesday to do Thursday press, and then Sunday show out Monday, and eventually, listen, we all know how this ends for us, guys. We just get old, and nobody gives a shit about us.
Yeah.
Like, that's the end of the day. Like, go to a comedy club, look at all the walls of the headliners.
heartbreaking.
I know, right?
There's a very small percentage that will always transfer over, but that percentage gets smaller and smaller. Like, maybe I'm being a dick about thinking this way. The older you
you're
get,
not. No,
so
what
you
about-
have to go. How do I backwards engineer this? How do I create? Like, you guys have your podcast. I'm such a dumbass. I started doing a podcast years and years ago with this Dr. V. She was a shrink. It was an awesome podcast, but my laziness didn't feel like driving to her Bel Air, huge Manson. And then I started doing one with Reap, and then he kind of went through some stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm not. And then I started one with my wife, because I'm like, you know what? She's here. I don't have to get a guest. I'll deal with that. And me and my wife had some of the biggest blowouts pre-podcast, because she's like, would you want to hear the stories I'm going to tell? And I would go, no, just tell them to me. And then I'll react. Well, then how are you going to know what to say? Hey, this is what I do for a living. Now, I got to go, what is it, Chelsea Handler? I got to listen to all the dumb shit before I talk about it.
Dude.
Yeah, so then we just stopped doing I released 5 of them. So
Yeah, it's you have to just be disciplined enough to where you stay with it, because it's not going to be successful right at first, and you have to build that audience just like you did with your stand-up. And
it takes so long.
I know, and you also know what you had to do to build that audience through stand-up. And you're like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to have to do that again.
This podcast, just in this past year, has gotten successful.
Yeah.
It was always been around, and it's always gotten like mediocre. I mean, actually, probably good numbers for podcasts, but mediocre numbers comparatively speaking.
Sure.
And then I started being very focused and caring about the podcasts I do. And I don't do it with people I don't want to be on with. Yeah. I do it with people that make me giggle. Like, that's it. And I think that, and I've been watching it, and I know for a fact that when I have 2 people on, my podcast numbers double, because people go, oh shit.
There's a better energy when there's 3 people.
Yeah, it is. As a one-on-one, it's one thing. It's always better if we drink. I'm in this fucking weight loss challenge, so I'm not drinking right now. But it's always better when we drink. But like, and then you just start trying to, like, you know, I had a really great meeting today with Al and Bill and Dave Anthony and Ari and Tommy Segura, and I was like, and we're talking about where the future of our careers are going. And it's
you had a little like a summit.
Yeah. We are the board of directors, I guess, technically, for All Things Comedy for the network. So
I was on there for a second, and then I stopped doing podcasts.
it's fucking.
All my wounds are self-inflicted, by the way. Nobody feels sorry for me.
But like you say here, like you've got an hour of content. You've got an hour of fucking. You've got a movie. Your hour. See, I'm starting to think differently.
I have 2 albums. Hey, here's what's on my computer. I have 2 albums and a hour special that I shot at Irvine.
Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of, like, my special went up on Showtime, and then it immediately went up on YouTube, and everyone's like, get him to take it down. And I was like, no, fucking put it up. All I want is people to see it.
How many people, I've done a little research. More people discover comics now, whatever, through Pandora.
Yeah.
Are you guys part of this? No, are you guys part of Pandora Amp?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you sign up for that?
Yeah.
Did I?
No, you did not. So you go to Pandora amp and then find it, and basically what you do is you claim your name, you claim you. And then once
you're moving too fast.
Okay.
I'm releasing this today. I need to do this now because someone's gonna fucking. What is it? An app?
No, you have to go to Pandora. I mean, it's you. Nobody can,
No one can claim you.
No one can claim you as a thing.
Yeah.
But what it does is once you get certified, then you go to the back end through Pandora, and you'll see every station that is ever built with you. How many plays on Pandora? So I have, and I'm not even
The artist marketing platform.
Yeah, I'm not even a high tier comic, but I have my stuff has been played 89 million times. And then think about the money you make from that, and then slowly put the gun in your mouth and click it, and then decide to live another day. But but when you have Pandora Amp now, you can send messages to anybody listening to your stations that are 15 seconds long. So I'll go on a Pandora Amp and I'll go, hey everybody, I'm performing in West Nyack, and then I can target people in New York listening to my Pandora station, whatever.
So
but then
I tried doing that with. I tried to shoot promo videos for tour dates coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So like I did one for Boston, and I'll put it up, and then I target market it. That's really sad. That's really because like I put some effort into a video. I'll tell you the exact numbers of like people who because I'm doing the Wilbur Theater January 21st.
Yeah, Wilbur Theater.
And well, it's not tracking well with sales. So no, I think it'll sell out, but but it bums me out when
I'm sorry, I've stopped paying attention. What was that date?
January 21st.
Yeah.
And so I did a Facebook video and I paid this company $30 to fucking target market it.
Yep.
And this is how many people have watched it.
As of right now.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
Drum roll.
2004.
Okay.
But like that's it for Facebook.
Yeah.
But it's just people in Boston that can see it.
The game. Do you remember when you just had to be funny?
How would you like to have been a comic? I 100 years ago, I had an 800 number back in the 80s where you could call it, and then I had a recording. Hey, everybody, I'm John Heffron. I'll be performing at the so-and-so community college on January. Like, who called the 800? Then I would send postcards out to people. It was just
I almost thought about getting a 1976 number, like like 25 cents a minute. And so if you were hammered and you wanted to talk to Bert, call and I'll answer and I'll talk to you. It goes to your credit card.
I have a buddy that he's a
Phone will
big
never
tech
stop
guy.
ringing.
He's got a service where you get paid for if people text you and you can have conversations and they pay for it. A lot of porn stars have it. Pretty much market like porn stars do. Porn
Stars, how are they so fucking smart with marketing?
And how come comics can't have a wish list on Amazon? Why do porn stars get to get everything paid for themselves? Why can't we say we want new yoga pants or something?
That's true.
It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
We do the same thing.
It's funny because, and I want for everyone listening who's like, you guys are complaining about your lives. What? Like, I got to go to the coal mine. Yeah, we know our lives don't suck.
Yeah. Oh, I have a beautiful life. I'm very happy.
It's amazing.
But you still have to. But we have it's a job. I know it's the art, but there is still stuff to figure out. You still have to treat it like a business, or you just. That's what I was saying. Imagine if you were guys like in the 80s. You did Evening at the Improv.
Yep.
And then you just showed up at a club. You were in charge of zero.
Yeah, but you weren't. I'd rather have been.
I was on Evening at the Improv, by the way.
Were you really?
This is how old I am.
Was that like right when you started then?
Yeah, it was my first
How long
TV
have you
show.
been
And that was like the year that it shut down?
Since 89.
Did you close it down, Heffron?
You've been doing comedy since '89.
Yeah.
Oh, this
my God.
piss you off. I was born in 84.
Fuck, '89. Like I started stand up in 1999.
Yeah.
90. No,
Okay, you have a more successful podcast. Your specials on Showtime. Mine is
Can
not.
I tell you? Can I?
Bigger dick.
What?
Yeah, but you know
You're
what?
at the Wilbur Theater, January 23rd in Boston.
No, I wouldn't. I think I don't know, man. It's hard for me to put this in perspective, but I don't. This is gonna sound weird, but I think I don't. I wouldn't say I would trade everything of where I am because I don't think I'm somewhere big. But I'll tell you what. I remember the day I did not make it on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
And I've never felt a lower low in my life. And I remember I was having Georgia, who I love dearly, but I remember going to the gift store in that fucking hotel, and they had a little duck, and someone was like, "Hey, you know what? You're not going to make it into the house or to the next round, but at least you're having a baby." And I remember being like, "Ugh." I was like, fuck, who wants a baby now? I'm a failure. And I bought her this duck, and I go, I guess I'll just fucking get this duck for this baby. And I was just so bummed out because I was like, I'm a failure. I'm a fucking failure.
I didn't have that because I never lost on Last Comic. But but here's where the lowest I ever did. It was me and Roy Wood Jr.
Raul who?
Roy Wood Jr.
Roy Wood Jr.
Raul.
Wow, guy gets on the Daily Show and then Bert just forgets about it.
I just had Roy on my podcast.
We were, me and him together, got the lowest score in Star Search history. Like, so you could get, I think you get fives. Let's say fives is the thing.
Yeah.
Roy got 3, and I got a 2. So 3 people gave me zeros.
Right. So that
And
means
then
one
2.
person
And
in
it was
their
this-
act
and
got
it was the
more
band-
stars than you and
It
Roy
was the
combined.
rapper B2K. I think that was a group.
Yep.
Back in the one of the Judge, and then the one of Zappa.
Not even a
And-
good
I don't
Zappa.
even know who the fuck
yeah,
they are.
and so we got the worst score, and like Winona Judge or one of the judge, not the good looking one, the other one goes, if I had tomatoes, I would throw them at you. And I remember
This is on TV?
This is on TV, and I go, would that be the first hit you've had in how long? Like, so, yeah, right? So then...
Don't fuck with the comic.
They edit that part out. So
Of course they did.
Me and Roy Wood, we go to it was at the Fox and the Hound or something like
I
in
remember that
Melrose.
place, yeah.
I remember getting so drunk with him, and we thought our careers were over.
Yeah.
We're like, we're done. We just ate it on Star Search so terribly bad. So that was like one of my lowest.
The first TV show I was on that got canceled.
My second Tonight Show, I kind of ate it a little too.
I've eaten it on a lot of sets, like a lot of important sets. Oh yeah, I've only had a handful of. Like, I'm not a really good 7-minute comic.
No, I don't.
Well,
know how
long
to do
stories.
that.
You do stories, and you need a little more than 7 minutes to get people
Do you
invested.
even need to do I know it's good to do current stuff, but I was thinking, man, you could do Tonight Show every day, every other day. I don't think it's put butts in the seats anymore.
It doesn't have what it did. It's more of just sort of an industry credit, just to say I've been on the Tonight Show.
I don't think. I think the Tonight Show's changed unless you do.
I'm using Premium Blend and Evening at the Improv back as my credit.
I mean, I talked to Segura about it, and he was like, they wanted me to do Conan, and Segura and I very candidly were like, it'll only work if you do Conan and you tell the fighting a bear story with a live bear. That's the ways people's attentions are.
Right.
If they see a man fighting a live bear telling a story, they're like, what's this?
Yeah.
But if they just see a guy standing there holding a mic, they're like, who's this? I said to them, I was like, I don't know if just doing stand-up on television.
Well, because you have Fallon playing tic-tac-toe with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And that's going to get more hits than your stand-up
and
set.
then fucking James Corbin's Carpool Karaoke. You've got the biggest stars in the world singing their songs with another dude jamming out in a car.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
If you're just walking out there just to talk, people are like, what?
This guy's just going to speak?
What? He's not going to crack eggs on his head?
We're throwing stuff at him, right?
Yeah.
It's like Bobcat's old bit where he did stand up with meat on his feet on hot coals.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do something like that. Like,
to get eyeballs on you. Yeah.
So, guys, my name is Bert Kreischer, and I understand that no one likes just straight comedy anymore, so I've given everyone pellet guns. I will be doing my set when you guys all have pellet guns. Here we go.
I think Chris Newberg, do you know him?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
He did a college show where they had a tweet wall behind him, and people
that's
could
great.
tweet
That's
while he was on stage, and he said it was just brutal.
Oh, sure. They were probably just telling him to kill himself 9,000 times.
Oh, I did.
That's so funny.
There was a Captain Brian.
Captain Brian's in Marco Island.
Had a live
man.
feed.
Yeah.
And then a tweet wall up there. So you could go onto their live feed and see the audience, and then tweet about the audience.
Yeah.
Or you tweet about whatever.
Okay.
It was ultimately, theoretically, it was for the people in the audience to tweet.
Yeah.
But what was happening was I tweeted out and I was like, hey guys, there's a live feed to my pre-show if anyone wants to see it. And all these Death Squad guys got on there like, hey, who's the redhead with the big tits? Stand up. And this poor girl's like, huh? And they're like, hey, black guy, go fuck yourself. I hope you like racist jokes. Get ready. And I was like, oh, this is a fucking nightmare.
See, and that's sort of the danger of when guys and girls that don't understand those mediums try to get into that mediums. You know, they can backfire on you.
Oh, yeah.
They can
Have you
absolutely
worked Comedy
backfire on
Works
you.
in Denver?
No.
Yeah, tons of times.
They take away people's phones now.
It's
Oh,
perfect.
yeah. Ari says
And they
that.
put it in that little bag. It's the greatest thing
I love it
in the history of the
'Cause
world.
I've had to stop a couple shows because someone's got a phone out with their flash on and just like holding it up. And,
I
like,
saw somebody
taping my
set up the phone like on the little candle, so it's like that.
Yeah.
And then the door kind of comes over and goes, "What are you doing?" And the woman, I heard her goes, "I'm broadcasting it live on Facebook so my friends could see it."
Yeah.
Like, you just really.
And it's like they don't understand it. And the thing is I don't know if that person in the audience is sending a video to their person that was going to be at the show, but then got into a car accident and now they're in a coma, so now they're
Yeah.
broadcasting it so like maybe they can watch it later. Or if they're a huge social media star in the audience just going, hey, here's what I'm doing tonight. Boop,
That's
comedy
what
show.
it's all about. It's all about what the Fat Jew did. Is just getting content and spreading it out like it's yours.
Yep.
Like I did it. This
Yep.
is mine.
Yep.
I'm
so,
fucking yeah.
follow me so you could see this stand-up bit.
Although let's play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
How many? I don't, I'm a pretty big YouTube guy in that like I like watching videos.
Yep.
There was a period where I was like, any Zach Galifianakis destroys Heckler, I fucking watched it
Sure.
and loved it.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking that wasn't bad for Zach.
Right.
So like people live tweeting your shows or live streaming your shows, ultimately, in a weird way, it's like
But I think that's the only times when it could be good, where it's like, okay, like you said you saw videos where Zach Galifianakis destroys a heckler, or Bill Burr has the thing happen at the Traveling Virus show for O&A in Philly, which just blew him up to another level, long overdue.
Yeah.
So does an event like that have to happen in order for you to blow up, or can it just be your set?
I don't think you can just be a good comic anymore.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, you got
such a thing.
You got to have something else. And I thought just being a midget, I was like, okay, there's the hook. Oh no, not enough.
That's
oh,
so
shit.
being a midget is so 1983, dude. You have to be like a racist,
Yeah,
like,
I gotta be
small
a-
person. You gotta
I
change
gotta-
it up.
I got to be the red state
Are
midget.
there any gay little people that come out as a comic?
There's got to be gay little people.
What about a
Oh, yeah.
Christian? What about
I
a
know
Christian gay little person?
Oh, and then does political commentary.
Yeah, is that the thing? We should all just fake personas. Like,
Oh, I wish.
like next year, just come out and just be like,
I hate that I shared so much about myself.
Yeah.
I wish that I could just have not told people the truth all the time, like about how much I drink. Like people go, like we were in this meeting today, and then someone's like, they're like talking about beer sponsors, and they're like, Bert's an alcoholic, and I was like, I wish I hadn't told everybody that. I wish I had kept that to myself.
Well, and because there is that line of where, like, is there anything that you want to keep just for you? And then if you do you feel like you're not as funny as you could be?
I'm doing a new bit these days called Secret Time, where it's not even a joke. I just go Secret Time, and then I tell everyone a secret.
Yeah.
And it's killing. Ralphie was like, that needs to be in your next special.
Yeah.
But it's just like Secret Time. My first wet dream, I was riding a horse. Secret Time. And it's just bizarre secrets.
Yeah, I mean, because all right, so I got engaged recently, and my fiance,
I heard this.
I
don't know, where did I hear this?
some radio show because I've been talking about it.
Yeah.
I met my fiance on an app for people that are trying to have threesomes. That's where I met her. So like,
Great.
I have to talk about that on stage. But now I got people like coming up to me after shows like, "Hey, so is your fiance here? Like, can I fuck her?" It's like,
That's
no,
weird.
no, you
That's
can't.
not technically what a
Well,
threesome is.
like-
No, like,
That's a train. That's
Yeah,
a
no,
threesome.
but
that's
I'm
called a
selling
gangbang.
T-shirts if you want one
yeah,
of those.
I
you
have
want
my
a
most recent
DVD
special on
too?
DVD. But yeah, they're like, because like there was a guy that came
Is your
on.
wife here? Can I fuck her?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. As long as I'm in the room.
Yeah, and sometimes she's with me at shows, and she helps sell merchandise afterward. So like she's out there after I've just said all these things about how we met on stage.
Is your
and
wife here? Can I fuck her?
that has literally happened to me. People come up like, well, I mean, you guys say you have threesomes. I'm like, with women. With women.
I talk really honestly about Isla, my youngest.
Yeah.
And women will come up to me always. It's always women. Just come up to me and be like, hey, all seriousness, your daughter's autistic. And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not giving her a fair representation on stage. I'm trying to make you laugh, but
There's
like,
there's like two stories.
If there was a diagnosis, I don't think I want it now on a second show Friday in fucking West Palm.
Yeah.
Like, just so you know, your daughter's autistic, and I'm like, okay, we've had her tested. Like, she's like,
And you shouldn't take Vicodin and drink wine, bitch. Yeah. Get your lift and go home. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's things when you tell stories about your daughter, the same way when I tell stories about my fiance, the same way you tell stories about your life, your wife. Like you exaggerate for comedic effect, because if you just tell the absolute bare bones story, it may not be that good.
That's called a historian.
Yeah,
not a comedian.
right. But if there's a small
You're
tweak,
giving a tour at a museum. If
Yeah.
that's you.
If you want to hear the facts, then go read a book. Like, but like if you want to laugh, my only job is to make people laugh. That's it. That's all I give a fuck about. It's like if I can't just go up and go, so like,
Yeah, watch this as a comic. Ready? Hey guys, what's up? Man, my marriage is awesome. I got pretty much enough money in the bank to set me aside. I'm in shape for the first time in my life. What do you do for a living?
what do you do for a living?
Yeah, so-
that's not a job I'd like. What do you do for a living? Well, your wife's overweight. I'd probably get divorced. Jesus,
you have to have some things going wrong. So, and maybe we take creative liberties and we create problems where there are none.
I take creative liberties with Isla because, but here's the thing I do is I make things. I never try to shine it like she's an amazing kid. I'm so lucky to have this funny kid as a comic. I always go, she's got problems, which is true. She does. She's fucking dyslexic as fuck. Yeah. She's reading at like a third grade level in fifth grade, and it is frustrating. And luckily, she's got a good group of friends that are everyone's protective. But like, I don't ever want to sit up there and be like, just tell a funny story about my kid, and then go, hey, my life is awesome. Here's a bad part also, and I always punch him up and down. And hide truth and hide to heighten experiences. Sure. But like, I did a podcast and the guy was like, so how much of that Russian story is true? I go, 100%. Yeah. I go, now clearly I am telling parts of it to make you laugh. That's my job.
Right.
But the guts of it, what you need to know about that story, 100%.
Yeah.
Every story is going to be punched up a tad bit or something will be revealed but it's 100%.
Yeah. There's stuff that happened. I tell a story that my fiance once whooped a guy's ass right in front of me. True story. Yeah. But there are some lines in there that I threw in that didn't exactly happen in the moment. Yeah. But I mean, but the bare bones of the story, that happened.
Yeah. I've been doing bits on stage that get zero laugh, but I just say it out loud, and then hopefully it'll come to just. The older I get, the least amount of people I'm going to come in contact with is where I'm turning into. like I want 35 acres with a shipping container house, a half a mile long driveway with colored stakes so I know how many yards out the vehicle's approaching in case I got to start putting bullets in.
The blue stake, 100 yards out. Yeah.
But literally, I didn't realize how many bits I have about just disappearing. Like about every city I go to, if I had $20,000 cash, how long could I live here? And I even bought a book called How to Go Ghost. Like it's a book of how to disappear.
Can I tell you
and
what
I
you
bring
should
that
do?
up on stage and people get pissed where they go, what about I have a wonderful stepdaughter. She's in the Air Force, but she's 22. She's married, whatever. My wife, obviously I'm not going to just disappear from my wife, but I think about it.
Can I tell you what I'd love for you to do? I would love for you to do a daily vlog, like 2 camera, just you 2 camera, but do it like obviously like a mockumentary, but that you've gone off the grid and you will no longer, that you're now living in that 35 acres in a shipping container and just tell stories creatively every day. You're like, well, I had to kill a bunny last night. The wolves got into and you're like, my wife, I think my wife's been infected. Like just really like,
because nobody will know.
They'll never
Nobody
like,
know.
holy shit,
like,
did you know John Heffron?
0.00001% actually come and see me live.
It's like, do you remember when Maria Bamford did that bedroom show? Did you ever see that?
I never saw it.
Maria Bamford did a show where she said she had a nervous breakdown, and it was shot in the bedroom of her parents' house in Minnesota, and it was just camera to thing, and she was doing all the voices of everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, man, is Maria Bamford okay? And they're like, yeah, it's a scripted series. She wrote it. Like, it's not, she didn't really have a nervous breakdown. She's not really in Minnesota. And I was like, I thought she was in fucking Minnesota.
So now it's kind of like everyone can do their own version of the Blair Witch Project, where it's like, wait, is it found footage?
Like, yeah,
is it real?
Dude, I would think that would be fucking hilarious. Do like a month-long daily, like, just, it's gotten bad. I think the infection's spreading into our dogs. And just
Well, I thought about doing I tried writing like a spy novel, but I can't. I
tried writing a series.
I don't know how to write.
I tried writing a series of novels.
It's hard.
Where the machine was the character. Because I was like just like the Russian mob story, but this now it's on a cruise ship, and we're going in the Middle East. It's like Fletch.
Yeah,
and I just don't want to write another book.
Well, I mean, yeah,
it's fucking exhausting.
And you wrote a book. And that's amazing, and you know the process of going through it.
Ooh.
So when you're trying to do as many other
11
things,
people downloaded it.
there you
I'm
go.
bragging.
But you're like, okay, I did that. I could cross it off the list.
Yeah.
But that was really fucking hard to do.
It was very hard to do. I'll never do it again.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
kinda
biggest
like-
mistake of my life. I should have just done an hour.
So
I really should have just done an hour.
mine is I'm obsessed with like lockpicks and all that type of stuff. So I bring them on the road with me.
So you watch Netflix in your hotel room. You like practice picking
No,
locks.
I have all these lockpicks, and I walk around the hotel, and I try to get into things without getting like arrested.
Please do a fucking
And then I have
the
these
Bomb Silo podcast where it's just you in the middle of nowhere.
So then I was writing these notes where like here's my novel. I'm never doing it, but after Lincoln gets killed, the government realizes that famous people have access to people easier than anyone else. So then
Zoolander.
Then they start making people. Yeah.
They were all assassins because they were male models.
Yeah.
It's the plot of Zoolander.
Yeah, well, no, this is different. This is how I apply it to me. It's not like Zoolander. So then they figure out that Marilyn Monroe and stuff like that. Then if they make when MTV came out with reality shows, they can make people quicker through reality shows.
So like they make an assassin that way or something?
Because it's a cover. Yeah,
I see.
So it's like
they can make an assassin famous by putting him on a reality show, and then that assassin now has a new talent.
So you get a thing called a holding deal. Once you become famous, you get a holding deal, and that's you then owe the government. The government goes, no, we made you a pop star. You owe us this thing. And then if you don't want to do the thing or you want to retire, you OD in a hotel room.
So like Jimi Hendrix, Marilyn,
you have a thing.
Winehouse,
So
all of them.
Amy
the
Winehouse
book
was a
started
murderer.
with I win last comic standing, and then the very next day I get pulled into my holding deal. And they go, yeah, you're not funny, right? We just made you, we made you this thing.
Yeah.
So then the deal is I'm a low level, like I basically curry like bullshit letters from city to city. So I'm at the Columbus Funny Bone. Somebody's going to come up to me after the show and go, I liked your special. And then I have to give this guy an envelope. That's kind of my job. Right? But it's bullshit. And then so I go, hey, what about, I want to shoot a new special. And my manager and agent, that's all a thing. They go, no, we got to keep you at this level. You're like a consistent road comic. We can't put you in the next level because we have Schumer. We have all these people that we have all these people.
She must be a fucking assassin.
Yeah,
she must
that
be.
are already there. So then
She's been in the White
I
House.
wrote a whole thing so this whole thing happens. Then at the end, I kill somebody. Like, that wasn't my thing. I don't know how to fight. I get assigned. Do you know who Ryan Hamilton is?
Yeah.
He's a Mormon, like, comic.
that comedian.
He looks like Jerry Seinfeld.
Super clean.
He's
whatever.
great.
So
It's
he gets
fantastic.
assigned with me because I fuck up a lot, but he's like a Jason Bourne. He's really clean on stage,
Yeah.
but off stage he wrecks dudes. Like that's kind of the thing, right?
He's the guy that did like a documentary about being Jerry Seinfeld or something.
Yeah.
No, he's super fun. He's so funny. But anyway, so then at the end of this book, I kill somebody by accident. Like this whole thing, I kill somebody, and then I get called into a room, and they go, "Hey, congrats on your new Netflix special." So I had to kill somebody, and then I got a thing. So then I was like, you know what? Every city I go to, I'm gonna try to film that as like my phone,
part
like,
of a web
hey,
series.
here's what's really going on, people. They're gonna kill
yeah.
me, and I want to share. But at the same time, I'm trying to like get into cars, and I'm trying to do some of the spy stuff that I know.
This
This is why I never wrote it.
This
is why I never wrote it.
Yeah, your listeners have to understand. This is what you do, John Heffron. You have more ideas than anyone that I know.
You really do have more ideas than anyone I know. You know what you should do is you should get an assistant to just write down all your ideas and turn them into the fucking industry.
Yeah. Like you come up with them, and then the assistant passes them
go
on to
beyond.
some.
Steve Renazizi
Yeah.
just started a podcast, and it's going to be airing in the beginning of this year, and it's going to be a great fucking podcast. But he wanted to do a podcast. He's like, I don't know, maybe it's just me talking. Maybe it's. I think the ship has sailed for a podcast of like dudes hanging out. Like I got grandfathered into it, and I think I think this works. I think I'm going to try to, but you got to try to read the market and see what people like.
People
Like,
want to be educated now, I think. Like if there is
people
a comics,
love murders. They love hearing about murders. That's like the most popular podcasts are murder podcasts.
So you're saying we should murder each other right now?
No, but we should definitely. Wouldn't it be great if you did a podcast where you're like, all right, we're going to see if we can break into this house and get close to murdering him, but not murdering him. And we're
So
all
like a live
okay,
break-in.
Yeah.
so back to remember what we were doing, talked about how you have knives all around.
Yeah.
So my buddy, let's full circle, right? My buddy goes, hey, where your slingshot safes and stuff like that, in your bedroom. And I go, well, the one's right here. He goes, it's a bad place for it. And I go, why? He goes, well, watch this. He goes, get in the bed. We were setting up like stuff around my house so I could practice firing. He goes, get in your bed, get underneath the covers. And he goes, close your eyes.
Take your pants off.
Take your pants off. Now
Open your mouth,
get a
open your
little, get a little chub. Like don't get full on, but just get a little. I'm going to grind against you a little bit. No, so he goes, close your eyes for 10 seconds. No matter what, don't open them. So I closed my eyes. It was scary, and I open it, my eyes. He's got his guns cleared. There's nothing in the magazine. We're not dicks.
Yeah.
He's got his gun in my face with a pillow over a thing. He goes, "Where's your safe? Where do you keep your stuff?"
And you go, right there.
Yeah. But no, he was showing me. He goes, can you get to your gun now? No, because the guy's already in the thing. So that's why he's a big knife guy. You have your knife on the side. That's, that's easier to grab and just, you don't even have to know what you're doing. You're flailing and you can get the bad guy off.
Oh, and then that's something to where even in cover of darkness, like you don't have to aim necessarily. You just
grab it and you
Wait,
start
do you
going.
feel like as being a little person, do you ever feel threatened in situations?
Oh fuck yes!
Really?
Fuck yes! Like that's why I think that's why I picked out the fiance that I have, because my fiance is a 4th degree black belt. At one point, she was ranked number 2 in the nation.
Really?
Yeah, she could fuck dudes up. So I think that's why I'm with her.
Did you say that there aren't any pictures of your fiance online?
No,
You don't have any on online?
no, I don't have them because if someone comments to me, like someone comments on my photos and says like, "Hey, you're a short fuck," like whatever. Okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's me. But if I were to post a picture with my fiance and then someone said something mean about her, I would kill them.
Really?
Just I would know that I'd be in a rage, and like
So
that terrifies me.
when you go to bars, do you go out to bars after shows and stuff?
Sometimes,
And
rare.
Do you feel like because you are famous, but you are like being a little person, you instantly become a celebrity also.
Yeah.
So you're like a double famous person.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
have drunk guys that everyone wants either the picture or they think they're funny.
Yep. Yeah. Well, now when people ask for a photo, I say why, and if they say because you're Brad Williams and I really like you, I go fuck yeah, let's take a million photos.
Yeah.
Don't care. But if they say something like, oh, I just think it'd be cool, I go, oh, it's just because I'm a midget, so no.
Yeah.
No
How
photo.
many people at bars like I?
Do guys touch you a lot?
Yeah, the guys want to like not to be. If there's like drunk meatheads. Do guys come up and go, I want to try to pick you up?
Oh yeah,
That's why
that happens a
back
ton.
to the tactical pen. You get this tactical pen.
I see you with that thing, Heffron, and
I was at
want
back
one.
to. I want to go back to this thing, but I was at the Tampa Improv, and I signed something for a lady.
Did you do side splitters?
Used to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dude picks me up by my feet.
Improv. Yeah.
Picks me up by my feet, and my head is higher than the headshots at the Tampa Improv bar.
Wow.
That's how high up I am. And I didn't know whether he was going to dump me, like pick me up and slam me.
Yeah.
So I had to I looped his leg, and I had this out. I had it like this. I'm like, if he slams me in the floor, I'm going to have to stab him in the face.
Yep.
But luckily, he was just the drunk. And then I got so pissed at the door staff. I go, just kind of general rule of thumb. If an audience member lifts a comic off the ground,
Not a good thing.
Probably when you guys need to get your face out of the phone.
General rule of thumb.
Yeah, and go put them down.
Yeah,
Can
thank God that I wrestled in high school, because I've had times when a guy has tried to pick me up and I sprawl. I flat out sprawl. One guy I shot a half on and then like flipped him over. And then,
Really?
now he's on the ground, and I'm laying on top of him, and he's sitting there with me laying on his throat, and he's like, "I just wanted to pick you up." I'm like, "Yeah, not cool. I'm a 32-year-old man. Like, you don't just go pick up random 32-year-old dudes. Like, what? We don't do that."
I've had one experience where I felt like I was a prop to this guy for the night.
Yeah.
Like he kept going,
Right.
hey, go over here, one more picture. He kept taking pictures, and he was like, lean in and kiss my cheek. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm not fucking kissing. He's like, fucking do it, man. And I'm like, I'm not doing and I was like, he's like, let me play with your tit. And I'm like, dude, here's the thing: is I have a weird need for validation. So
Well, we're comics, we all do. Yeah.
There are a million girls that have pictures of them pinching my nipples. I don't give a fuck.
Sure.
And there's guys that have the pictures, but that guy bothered me so much, and I didn't say anything, and I was angry at myself that I didn't go, hey man, go fuck yourself. I ended up just sitting there and taking pictures with him and then leaving. But like, it would drive me fucking. That's why I don't go to bars much, because I don't want to fucking.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the thing. I don't want to be your play toy.
Right.
What bugs me when you get pictures with people is, by the way, if you ever if you want to take a picture with a comic after a show, if you could unlock your phone, you probably save about 5 years of our lives. But
God,
I wish you
damn
could
it.
see the face that Bert just made.
Fucking hold on 1 second.
how do you?
Hold on.
Wait,
Wait, I lost it. I lost it.
Hold on.
How do you find it? This isn't my phone. I don't have an Android.
Yeah.
You ever have
amazing.
guys do that thing like I take the same picture with everybody. It's double fist, or I make a fist and I rest it on top of shoulders, and I stand
That's
very rigid.
smart.
That way, my wife, if it's like a girl, if my hands open, then she'll be like, "Oh, you're kind of into her."
Yeah.
So I go straight, rigid. But you ever see the guys that put their hands and cup your love handles? Like put your hand.
Yeah.
Around
Like,
your. I've had one guy.
That drives like I elbow guys. I always put my elbow and I literally always go, Are we on prom date, dude?
Right.
That's pretty. That's
had
a
a
pretty
guy-
you own me hand thing, and
Dude,
I would
had
like
a guy
not to be touched.
rub my side. I'm doing this for Instagram, so everyone knows that
okay.
my podcast is going up right now. It is with comedian John Heffron and Brad Williams, and it will be going up tonight. You can go to Bertcast.com. #Tom is fat. Tom Segura looks fucking good.
Oh, are you guys
Saw him
like
today?
are you guys
We're
in
the
competition?
battle. I saw him today.
Yeah. Getting nervous?
I'm very nervous. I'm fucking
How much time do you have?
until next Tuesday.
Dude, you got
You could wrestling.
Yeah, you got to do the wrestler
wrestling
thing
lose
where you
that way,
start
dude.
Well,
yeah.
you start
I'm gonna-
running
You could
in
cheat and just
tracksuits.
I gotta get below 227, which is fine. I'll do that.
Trash bags.
No, below
Go to
227.
sauna.
Right now I'm 230.
Okay.
But I started at 256, so I'm down 25 fucking pounds.
Pretty
But I'm at
awesome.
230. I can lose 3 pounds over the weekend. That's not a hard thing. And then all I got to get there. And then that last day, the next day, we're doing Rogan back to back. I think. I shouldn't really say that out loud here, but I already did. And we're doing it the second and the third back to back. And the first day's weigh-ins are the second. That's just where we got to get out of obesity into general overweightness. And then that was the initial bet. And then Ari's got to pay for us to go on a trip. And then the next bet is who shaves their beard off is the person who lost the most weight gets to shave the fattest person's beard off.
Go on like a 3-day Coke binge, dude.
Dude, look.
You'll be done, man.
Tom was scared because he's like, "This isn't healthy, man. We're not being healthy." I was like, "It's not about fucking health. It's about fucking." I canceled my cardiologist appointment because I was like, "I don't want him to see me in this shape. Like I haven't eaten in days." But and then I'm gonna do hardcore weight loss, like the in between Monday and Tuesday, just fucking sauna suit and just jog it out.
But like. Sure, you've been fat, but you've always been that beer fat where it's like your belly is tight. Like
my belly's hard as a fucking rock.
It's not sagging at all. Like it's a rock hard.
It's rock hard, but but my problem is bloat. Like I drank, I haven't had a beer since Thanksgiving.
Oh wow,
no kidding.
I haven't had a beer. I've had a lot of vodka sodas.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That covers it. Yeah. I was gonna say, Bert, you've been dry.
No. I mean, the other thing is I don't drink as much as I think people think I drink. Like, I don't necessarily drink when I'm at home.
Yeah.
But I will drink. I like drinking. That's the other thing is I also like drinking. Like, if I go to I did this podcast yesterday, and they were like, if you want to drink, and I was like, yeah, why not? I don't mind having a couple drinks, getting a little bit of a buzz, going home, getting an Uber home, coming home, having a cigar, another cocktail, go to sleep. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's American
That's
dream.
Called American. That's called American dream.
Yeah.
They don't do that in fucking Tehran. What time do you got to get out of here?
Oh, I'm good, man.
Okay. I saw you check your watch.
No, I'm good.
We'll just do like 15 more minutes.
There you go.
We'll bring it full circle.
Wrap it up.
I mean, like I don't know, John. Now I'm trying to get to a point where I look at your preparedness and I kind of want to get there.
Oh, I got some books for you. What do you want to read? I recommend getting CIA Secrets That'll Keep You Alive. That book's awesome.
Okay.
CIA Secrets That'll Keep You Alive.
Now, are any of these written by Jesse Ventura?
No.
Okay.
These are, it's all about that book's good because that shows you what hotel rooms to get when you're in a hotel.
Whoa,
why you
hold
never
on.
get the door.
Hold on. Go start all over. What hotel room should I get in hotels?
You want to be below floor 7 because most fire department ladders can't make it up higher than floor 7.
I used to have rope and rappelling gear that I brought with me on the road because I was a fucking lunatic.
You spelunked?
Well, I can rappel. Although I did fall off a waterfall rappelling, but that's hence the OxyContin.
Yeah.
But so what else? What?
So then there's also the door that's right by the stairs is the most kidnappy door. You know how you get that, like how the stairwell's right there.
See,
that's
and you
where
think
people,
that's the safest because you're like, okay, that's my way out.
And then in the book too, it has all this stuff where you can set up your room to see if anybody like messes with anything. I have an app. I don't know.
I don't let anyone in my room.
Yeah.
Well, they come in there.
Really?
Yeah. I was in a room recently, and I'm like, I don't wear polo. Like, why do I smell polo cologne in my room? But I have an app where you can take a picture of, let's say, your desk, and then you take another picture of it, and it'll show you if anything was moved.
Oh,
wow.
Do you know the name of that app so I can download it right now?
I'll text it to you.
I don't like people in my fucking room at all.
Yeah.
No, there's all these different ways you can set up like a little piece of tape. You can put on the top of the door, like a clear Scotch tape, and you put it at the very top. So you can't see it. Nobody looks up there. So if it goes in, if the tape's off, then somebody was in there.
We had a porta potty in our front yard because we were renovating.
Yeah.
And homeless guys were using it all the time, like all night long. There was I pulled up from the comedy store one night, a little buzz, and there was a line in my front yard, and I was like, "The fuck?" And they're like, "Back of the line, buddy." I was like, "It's my fucking house. Everybody out." And so I decided I wanted to find out if someone was using it at night.
Yeah.
So I took tape and I put it on the door in a really discreet place on the thing, and I was like, "There. Now no one's gonna see that and open it." So the next morning I go out to see if the tape is there, and as I'm walking out there, one of the dudes who's working on my house is walking to the porta potty, and I was like, "Oh, I should get to that first." But he beat me to it, and he gets to the door, and then he takes the tape off and opens the door. I go, "So I guess it wasn't hidden that well." He totally saw the fucking tape.
This book's good though. I think it's was it the How to Stay Alive book? It shows you how to barricade your room, how to do improvised weapons.
Yeah.
Like in your hotel room.
Oh, I
like it.
could do a whole fucking TV show on that.
There's a spy camp that I really want to go to. The guy puts on, it's 5 days long.
Yeah.
Day 1 is tactical handgun shooting. Day 2 is shotgun. Day 3 is evasive driving, how to bust through roadblocks, how to shoot over a car. Day 3 is all kidnapping stuff, getting out of zip ties, getting out of duct tape, how to
love this
hotwire
shit.
and back out of a car. And day 3 is counter surveillance, how to track people, and then how to not be tracked. But it's
John, why don't
it's
you do
$5
this as a
grand
web
for the
series?
Week. It's
Why don't you-
$5 grand for the week. But I'm like, I might just go.
Dude,
I have Kevlar shoelaces. These aren't these ones. So my buddy zip tied me. I
Yeah.
have like this started from a joke, and then I actually bought. So if I was zip tied, you can take the Kevlar shoelaces and you do the sawing thing where you kind of go like that.
Yeah.
And you saw out, and then you're out of zip ties.
Amazing.
I'm kind of turning into a nut job. Like it.
I mean,
this
like,
is-
and I don't know if it makes me crazy that I hear that, and I don't think, oh, John's crazy. I think, oh man, he's way ahead of where I need to be. Like, that's what I need to do. Be that
the
prepared.
moment. It's the moment where the streets meet your door,
Yeah.
like fucking terror and all the propaganda that the news organizations put out of there's 12
Dude,
killings when it meets your front door.
We're in a different city. It's not like you can fortify this house and you're here all the time.
Yeah.
You're like in a different scenario. How many times have you like I went to the grocery store and the club owner goes, "Yeah, I wouldn't go to that gas station if I were you." Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. So
Yeah.
and look at Charlotte. Like I stayed at that hotel when all that shit went down in Charlotte where they ran into the front and they punched the people who worked at the. You don't
What
know,
happened
man.
in Charlotte?
Like that was a Black Lives Matter thing when they're protesting, but they went into that hotel and started busting up that window.
Really?
And then they punched a couple people who were on the first floor. That's where the Comedy Zone puts you up.
Yeah,
is that
same
hotel?
hotel.
Jesus.
So it goes like that was just my proof that
Yeah,
it goes down.
and I mean-
it's layers. It's base layers.
And for people that think, oh man, you're being too paranoid. Hell, remember the story this year where the contestant of The Voice, where someone came up afterward for a meet and greet,
Stabbed her.
shot her.
Shot her. Yeah, shot her.
Shot her right in the head, and didn't like say everybody down. Like didn't make it all dramatic. Just walked up with the gun, put it set
There's
head.
a couple great
Oh.
books that I read. One's called Left the Bang. I'm a big fan of that one. And that one's, when I walk, like if I'm walking, let's say Philly again, I'm kind of paranoid about watching people's hands. Like when I'm walking, I don't have my face on my phone. My headphones aren't on. That way I'm a little bit more, I'm at situation orange when I'm paying attention to life. Not crazy red,
Right.
but I'm always watching people's hands.
I'm that guy too.
Just to
Hands.
see, because your hands will tell whatever. And my daughter gets mad at me for this because it was something I forced us to do. If I come into a parking structure, let's say I'm parked at the parking spot at L.A.,
Yeah.
I pick like a random color. Where are all the white cars before I get to my car? So it makes me scan the parking lot to go, okay, there's a white car, but at least my eyes are kind of tracking.
See, my wife doesn't have
Everybody.
this.
My wife is the same. She works auto shows. She's in a different city. Like, she called me. I go, where are you? She goes, oh, wait. She works for Mercedes. She goes, oh, we just loaded one of the Mercedes. It's like a $200,000 car up onto this thing. I go, where are you at? She goes, I'm, Fort Street. I go, are you in downtown Detroit? And she's like, yeah. I go, and you're with $200,000 Mercedes and you're talking on the phone? What are you, nuts?
Yeah.
Can you not be doing that?
Yeah.
Where's I think I'm doing a Kickstarter to play in Detroit.
I almost bought that travel hoodie that you are promoting.
You're raising money to play in a club, to play in a theater or something.
I can.
Instead of so here's the way my brain works.
Yeah.
This is, by the way, Kickstarter brought it to me and
Okay.
said we want people to try this. And I was like, well, what's the idea? And they're like, get a theater. I know my podcast is big in Detroit for some fucking reason.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I've never played Detroit, and Mark Ridley doesn't need me to fill his club up, so I will never play Detroit unless I do a theater. Now you can go out to
Why
Live
doesn't Ridley
Nation.
need you?
He doesn't need me. This is what they said to me was his club sells out every fucking show. So he just puts up local acts and like traveling like B comics, and it sells out every fucking show. And I would love to do Detroit. I would love to do Detroit. And so,
I could get you in the Ridley's,
But-
that's the very first club I ever started at.
really?
Yeah. Now you make me feel bad that I sold out every show that anybody could get up there. I thought that was me. I thought it was the one place that I had.
No, so Kickstarter said, get a theater that seats like 600. Say, and so this is where my brain's at. So go, all right, guys, I'm going to be doing one show on a Friday night. Tickets are $25. You can buy them on this Kickstarter page, and if we sell 600 to whatever I need to clear my money, if we sell that, then I will be doing this theater. And if we don't, you get your money back, and you didn't waste your money. And then here's the other thing. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Saturday morning, I'll be doing a catered breakfast at my hotel room. Tickets are $35. Anyone who wants to day drink with me Saturday morning and watch college football or Premier League soccer, but there's going to be a catered breakfast, and if we sell 100 tickets to that, we'll be having a catered breakfast at my hotel room. If not, I'm just going home. So it's a better way. Like that, we were even thinking, like, what if we did a show Friday and then a pub crawl Saturday afternoon, and people could buy tickets through the Kickstarter to the pub crawl. And
why don't you do? Now we're going to brainstorm. Why don't you do Ann Arbor, Michigan?
Yeah,
is
that close to Detroit?
50 miles from the Comedy Castle. There's a club there, the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, is where I started.
Yeah,
that seats like 300. They'd give you the door, because I'm there in June, and I've performed there every day or every year for 27 years.
Yeah,
and I'm just kind of like, this year I was like, I went to John Reap. I go, why don't you just come and do the week with me? I'll give you like my money. I just want to host something, and I want to bring friends. Let's have the friends of John Heffron. And then I asked Alonzo Bowden, would you want to do it? Everyone said, yeah, you should do that at that place. It's a comedy club.
Yeah.
So you get the same amount of people.
Yeah.
And I could get you that in about 2 seconds with having to pay no theater things.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's the same. You're doing the same thing. You're still doing Kickstarter. You could still do one night.
One night.
And I'll host it.
And then the breakfast in the morning is the key.
And we'll fill that place.
That's where you make your real money.
Ann Arbor is where University of Michigan is, and there's a billion places that you could have cool breakfasts.
I need to go to fucking... Have you ever performed in Michigan?
Yeah. I used to perform at a comedy club there.
Kalamazoo's in Michigan.
Yeah.
I performed in Michigan.
Yeah.
Or Grand Rapids? You don't do Dr. Grins?
No, I'm supposed to do a Call in Sick to Work show with the free beer and hot wings guys.
There you go.
We're supposed to do a Call in Sick to Work show at Dr. Grins, I think, or at the distillery there, Long Road Distillery. But they're setting it up, and they can't do it yet. We're going to do that in the spring. But those Call in Sick to Work tours, that's the other thing I'm doing is I do this Call in Sick to Work show. I'm sure
I've heard about it.
And I go in, I drink on morning radio. I go right to the club at 11, and we do a noon show, and everyone calls in sick to work. And I think we're going to do one of those at the Comedy Store in February for All Things Comedy and live stream it.
Yeah.
And bring like...
Well, that's cheating to do it in Hollywood because no one works here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it would be hard to sell tickets in Hollywood. Burr's like, oh, you can sell it out. And I was like, no, you can sell it out.
Yeah, you can sell it out.
I was like, I think you're confusing you with me. The fact that we're in the same, like...
Yeah, I'm always shocked when the Comedy Store does something like, all right, they just put on Twitter, Louis C.K. tickets tonight. The tickets go on sale at 11:30 a.m. and they post that at 10:30, and there's a line at 11:30. And I'm like, how did you get out of work that quick?
I'm amazed.
Or do you just not work
at the shows that they put on right now?
Amazing.
It's David Spade, Bill Burr, fucking Ron White, fucking Doug Stanhope, Joe Rogan, and I'm just like, are you fucking shitting me? By the way, every single one of those guys older than us. Mm-hmm. Still killing it.
Still relevant.
Those
There's
guys have, like, I was talking. I just got my headshots done with Troy. Do you know he?
Yeah, Troy Conrad.
Yes, super cool. And we were
He's
talking
a great
about
photographer.
the work ethic of Rogan.
You're never gonna fucking. That's
you cannot work. I mean, that guy has a family. He's older than he's healthier than us, but he's older than us.
He's so much healthier than us.
He puts out 700 podcasts a week, travels, somehow spends time with his kids, and does sets like on the off days, like,
and has time to smoke elk, hunt elk, make elk tartare. Like the guy's fucking.
How do you do? Is it? I need it. That's gonna be my 2017.
Just be Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I said earlier, Liza, I think's the same way. But see,
there you go.
Eliza's
my thing with
Eliza's
Eliza,
a cheat because she shouldn't have kids. So she shouldn't have to
and
fucking
she's
worry.
not married, and she's 30. Well, I don't want to say her age, but she's way
She's
younger
39.
than us. There's a huge difference. Yeah, she's actually 52.
I think she's in her 40s, but she
How old are you,
claims
Brad?
32.
There's a huge difference between 32 and my age.
there's
Sure.
a difference between 32 and 42. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But there's another difference is there's like I wouldn't want to be 32 in this business again.
Oh, really? Why not?
Now,
why,
hold on, man,
why should I hate my life right now?
Because
It's a very powerful age. You're right. I think that early 30s, that's a good age to be because people, that's your prime. You're like, yeah, you're
I just
at the
got
age.
lucky. Mm-hmm. Like I got lucky. I don't know if I get lucky again.
Oh, I see.
Like I got lucky. Like I got to at 36. At 34, I started booking a lot of television, meaning like pilots.
Yeah.
Like just I maybe did from fucking 32 to 34. I probably did 15 pilots, and it was 10 grand a pop is what you'd get for a pilot back then, and it was all scripted. And I just I remember making a decision not to test for a TV show on CBS. I remember saying, I'm not gonna do this. If you want it, it's an offer, and I'm not going to test for it because I'd already done pilots at CBS. Oh, maybe I might be wrong about that. I think I might have tested and I didn't get it. And I remember going, and they were like one of these things, and there was this panic at 32 that I had that I was like, what if I don't make it in this business? Like, because there was a sincere possibility of not making it, of just being a guy who could do the road. And I'm not saying I made it, but there was a sincere moment where
I don't know if that ever goes away. Like, even I think it's like a video game. Each new level, there's a boss guy you got to kill. So, like, I wanted to complain. I think it was with some feature act somewhere, and I was like, "Yeah, next year I'm home one day because I'm doing like 5 corporate events on January.
It's a dream."
And then I have 3, and it was like a legit complaining.
Yeah.
But they don't care. They're like, I'll do whatever ones you don't feel like so. Yeah.
It's all perspective. It's all when you get to that next level. Okay, now you want to get to that next level. How do you do it?
Well,
and when you say like, because now you feel like, what if I didn't make it? And now like we're at a level that a lot of comedians would dream and give their right nut to be at, and yet we're still fighting to get.
I think
to
it's
that next
harder
level.
to stay at a certain level than it was to get to a certain level.
Oh, I think it's much harder to stay at a certain level than get to a certain level.
So after
Maintained.
after last comic, I was on in 1974. So whenever that was, right? And let's just say the money I was making at clubs then over time that's gone down a little and down a little, and so the numbers of my shows, like people showing up, it's. Here's why this is going to be real sad. You know the story of like not HR puppet stuff. Who's Little Jackie Piper, the dragon?
Pete the Magic Dragon.
Puff the Magic Dragon, Little Jackie Paper.
Okay, this is the sad, and I got to get out of this melancholy. But I feel like I'm Puff the Magic Dragon. I'm
How's
in
that?
a cave. People used to show up, and then shit happened in their life where they got busy with their kids, and nobody shows up, and I'm still. Is that the saddest thing?
It's the saddest.
You're about to drive your tactical pin into your eye.
Is that a sad analogy?
They were like, "Oh yeah, John Heffron. I remember him. I know that guy.
Remember? Wait, didn't that guy kill himself?
Yeah. Well,
Was
no,
he
he
the
worked for the
redneck
government,
comic?
and then he was an assassin for the government, and then
Wait.
the government had him die.
John Heffron. Did he? Was he that thing got a Hemi guy?
Yeah.
Was that guy?
I think.
To stay at that level and to stay relevant, because I was telling my managers this. I'm like, you work the improvs and funny bones, and they're all great, but it's a slow death. If that's the only thing,
you've got to be creating other things
that you're doing.
You've got in
have
this
to
business.
Plan what you're out, because there's a whole new fresh people. Like
you just
some mercy bookings.
So you told me about that. You told me that about you just said about that colonel who said take a look at 3 of your peers. I do that constantly.
Yeah.
I am looking at my peers constantly, seeing what they're doing. I heard another thing. If you want to find out if you're successful, see who you hang out with. And I will say, and I unequivocally, I hang out with the greatest comics in this world. There's no questions asked. That is for my comedy. For my comedy, I hang out with the greatest comics. I do comedy with them, and then that is where. Now I know where my bar is creatively for the material that I'm writing and putting out. Is when they say that's funny, I know we're going in the right direction. Also, tangentially. I don't know if that's right now, but like I look at Rogan as an inspiration all the time, and he is constantly doing. He's always at the front of whatever technology is. So like with podcasting, I look at his podcast with the video and the fucking guests he has on and where he's going, and then I look to Bill and I go and I pick Bill's brain and Al Madrigal and Segura, and I'm like, and Ari and like everyone, and then like today I was like I had this real epiphanous moment, and I was like. Oh shit, I can just make shit. Like Al set it up where I can just make shit. I'm going to make shit. I'm just going to make everything. I'm going to make all my ideas. I'm going to put it all on the table. I'm going to make as much shit as I can this next year. I'm doing a scripted series, but which is different, but I'm going to do all the fucking dumb ideas I've had that no one's wanted to shoot and I have tons of them, tons of. I pitched one as a joke today. I go, Tom Segura, I want to do this show, and I said the thing, and Bill's like, "You're shooting it. You're shooting it. You're gonna shoot it. That's the first thing we'll do." He's like, "I'll be your first guest," and Tom's like, "I guess we're doing this." And I was like, "That's the way it should be. You have a fucking half baked idea, and you go, here we go, let's
so
make
easy
it.
To do.
Go try it.
I remember when it sounds old. When my first CD came out in like '92, that cost me $6,000. To record, to edit, and then I had to go to this Harmony House, his place in Michigan, to get it, distributed. It was such.
And that's $6,000 in '92, which is like maybe $22,000 now.
But that was with editing and setting up.
Dude.
You could literally record an album today, right now, and here, and it's on iTunes by 6:00. And that technology to shoot your Facebook lives or to whatever, that it's so there.
I wish at 32 someone had pulled me aside and said, "Hey man, are you interested in starting a production company?" And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because that's what your career will be. You'll be shooting and editing a podcast. You'll be recording a podcast. You'll be shooting and editing your own videos to put to your Instagram, your YouTube. You'll be fucking editing all your shows. Basically, you better be ready to start a production company."
Yeah.
And I know, like, it was really interesting going into this meeting we had today because I went in knowing full well what I need to take my career to the next level. Like I was like, and these guys were cool as fuck. And
it's just a matter of doing it, or even doing it wrong. Like
doing it wrong. Just do it wrong a bunch.
Yeah,
I said
no
that to
action is bad action. Sometimes better than no. Like I shot my special, and we're still trying to sell it. And I have these 2 albums. Well, I was afraid to put out my 2 albums because some of the material is on the special. But this year I went, fuck it. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I'm putting out the album because I could do that. I have control.
Yeah.
I'm going to and then with that, then it's on Pandora. Then I buy a little bit of time. And then my special's evergreen. There's nothing on it that's time-stamped.
I'd put that on fucking YouTube. I'd be like, fuck, make the money in ad sales, put it on YouTube, and just let people go, oh, I can get it for free. Because, Stanhope, I did that with his special. He took it off. He was like, he had it from CISO, and he's like, I'm putting it on YouTube. And they're like, you can't do that. And he goes, go fuck yourself. He's like, I want people to watch it.
Nobody makes money off of CISO, right?
Don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah.
Sure,
I mean, look, I can probably. I'm sure Brad and I can tell each other how much we made on our Showtime special.
Sure,
but it's not.
I don't own. I did one special with Levity. My last one. It's not even on Netflix anymore. It doesn't exist. It's nowhere.
It was on Netflix.
It was, but now it's. But
Netflix is purging their system.
And then my 2 other specials were Comedy Central. I have no proof that I've ever done stand-up comedy with all my specials because I don't own them.
My special. I don't know where
they're
mine
not
are.
anywhere.
I get mine back in a year. Who produced yours?
This guy named Scott Montoya, LOL Flicks. I now sell my special on DVD.
Really?
At my shows.
Do people
you
still
got
buy
the
DVDs?
rights back?
Yeah.
After a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my rights back. I think in 3 months.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to post it everywhere. Put it on Vimeo, put it on YouTube. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to
not?
sell it. I just want everyone to fucking watch it.
Because the material's
I want
old.
Everyone to watch it.
You
I don't
already
do
have
the material.
hour.
I'm not a big proponent. I mean, I think I've heard other people talk about this.
I repeat shit.
I'm doing a brand new fucking hour right now because that is the status quo in our industry. But I think
Thanks, Louis.
I know. Just because you have to be prolific, I've got to be mediocre.
Really, dude? Yeah. I always want to say that. Couldn't you have sold your shit for $7.99 and not fuck the rest of us?
$7.99.
I love when super rich guys. Oh, I'm doing it. Yeah, you know what? Some of us don't have that type of money. Yeah,
I was talking to someone.
Sold it for $10.
I was talking to
dude.
someone. They're like, I forget who it was. I want to say it was like Jim Jeffries or Joe or Bill or someone who's very successful.
Right.
And I was like, they had just done a special, and I was like, so when do you go out on the road next? And they're like, oh, I'm off the road for like 4 months. I'm taking some time off to work, to write. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, aren't you doing that? And I was like, no, I got to pay a mortgage.
Yeah.
I'm on the road. I guess I'll be failing in front of people writing.
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, but like, it's interesting. The comedy fans that come up to me, like, that are comedy fans, and they're like, dude, I really appreciate you doing all new material. This woman who is, she's not, I don't know her. She doesn't listen to my podcast. She caught my Showtime special. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and she just comes over and she's like, hey, I just saw your special Thursday, and I thought, it's really great. I want to see this guy live. Turns out you're here. I came, and I really appreciate that you did all new material. And I went, you're not supposed to notice that. Like, you're supposed to say, I wanted to hear the hits.
Right.
I'm still telling the goddamn machine story. I'll tell that until I'm fucking 55.
As well you should, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that some guys don't like it when they have a bit that sort of goes viral, and it's like now everyone just wants to hear that story or that bit. It's like, oh, great. So there's your "Don't Stop Believing."
Yeah.
There's your thing that you could always do at the end of the night.
Ron White won't tell us tater salad, and I'm blown away by that.
Yeah.
I'm being real. If I went to see, when I see him, I'd pay an extra $100 for him to tell that story.
Just so you could hear it, and it's successful, and like, hey, no matter what I do during the show, when I play stuff from the new album, I can always play "Don't Stop Believing."
Yeah.
Right at the end, and then everyone goes home happy. Yeah, so now we're just all trying to write that bit.
All right, so guys, this is what comics sound like.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yep.
This is fucking.
It was good to talk about stuff with other comics, because I love all the MCs and features I work with on the road, but it's completely different conversations.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's hashtag headliner problems.
Yeah,
I remember
they're legit
when
problems though.
Yeah, I remember saying to Attell,
they're not shitty.
I remember saying to Attell when I first met him, and I said, what advice would you give me? He goes, quit now. It just gets worse. And then one time we worked together, and he goes, can I give you a little bit of advice? I said, yeah. And he goes, I wouldn't try to do the same set every time. He was like, I'd write if I were you. I was like, really? He goes, because one day you'll be going to the club, and they will be paying to see you, and you'll feel like, shit, I wish I had written more when I was young and knew what it was like to write on stage. And I was like, And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll try to listen to the guy that I think is the greatest comic that ever lived.
Yeah.
And so
follow his advice.
Think we learned anything from the podcast? It's carry a tactical pen.
John,
When
you
you're in
need to
public,
start. You
always
need to
have an out. Always look to know where the exits are.
And don't pick up midgets.
Don't pick up midgets.
Heffron's
Unlock your phone.
survival guide.
Yeah.
You need to do 2 things. You need to do a daily vlog of you in your bunker of just you have no contact with the outside world, and you're just saying what you think's happening.
Yeah.
By now, the beasts have probably succumbed to the zombies. And then you need to do a survival series, where it's you
giving advice.
Fucking this
But
is how
horribly
today
wrong.
we're gonna learn how to get out of fucking whatchamacallits, out of zip ties.
Yeah.
And it's just, John, it's like 2.5 minutes. It is 2.5 minutes. It is fast cut, but it is your survival guide. Today, we're going to learn how to kill a man with one punch. Today, we're going to learn how to whatever.
Clear
all
a
this
room.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to learn how to clear a room. Today, we're going to learn how to survive when you're locked in an elevator. Like, all your fucking survival gears. That's a web series that I'd fucking really watch, and I'd binge watch.
Yeah.
And I'd be horrible at it because I really don't know what I'm doing. That's my biggest
Perfect.
fear, is getting in a fight in front of my wife, because she knows how many how much I train,
it would be
all
10
the stuff
times
that
funnier.
I have.
Yeah, you'd be like, wait, no, you're supposed to come at me and punch with the right arm with an overhead
I
right
know.
hook.
I would
That's
just
what I know how to
hear her
defend.
go, what the?
It would be so funny to see you in zip ties for 8 minutes, going any minute now, any minute.
Well, it's funny. So you get these the Kevlar shoelaces, right? But to do it right, you have to create this certain knot, and I don't know how to tie. I know how to tie my shoe. I don't know how to tie knots. So my buddy's gonna zip tie me. He goes, "If you don't know how to do that knot, you're gonna be in those zip ties for a while." I go, "Well, this time lapse it, and if I'm in there for like 4 hours,
Fucking great. The lighting changes.
Yeah.
His hair's grown. He's got a beard.
calendars are turning
Yeah, you see-
pages.
yeah, you see the clock in the
fall,
background
it's
just
raining. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's Christmas.
I'd watch that series. I'd watch that series in a heartbeat. All right, Brad, what's the name of your podcast?
My podcast is called the
Adam
About
Ray.
Last Night podcast with Adam Ray. We've had some amazing guests going in the backlogs. You can find interviews with Neil Patrick Harris, Melissa McCarthy, Paul Feig.
What episode
Can
was
I ask
John?
you a
What
question?
episode was John Heffron on?
It's in our February episode. That's coming out next month.
All right.
Wait, do you notice? Be honest, but like,
Yeah.
Do you? Because if I have a celebrity on my podcast, no one cares. But if I have you guys, like just comics, they fucking are like, those are bigger numbers. Like for every time I've had someone famous on, I'm always underwhelmed by it. Do you notice that? Is you the same way?
Yeah, because when we have like one of our highest rated episodes is when we had Andrew Santino on, and Andrew Santino is one of our best friends, great comic, so funny.
The Bay Area.
Is he? No, he's from Chicago.
Andrew Santino.
Redhead.
Oh, I don't know Andrew Santino.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
need
know
to
him
know. He's a great dude, and we had him on, and just because he's one of our buddies, we laughed so hard for an hour and 20 minutes just shooting the shit and telling jokes. I would tell people, go back and find that episode. That's a great one.
I know Andrew Santino.
Yeah, you've seen him around.
Yeah, of course I know Andrew
Yeah,
Santino.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I was
so-
thinking of some other guy.
Yeah, so you're right.
Your best friends are the ones that like. Like if I have Joey Diaz on here, not Joey's a podcast gold, but
Yeah.
I had Ari and Steve Renazizi, and that was a big number podcast for me. And I was like, wow, I would think that it would be big, but not so much bigger than like Bobby Flay or like I had fucking Peter Jackson from the
Lord of the
director.
Rings?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Wow. So
Nothing.
I'm not even the first Hobbit to be in here.
Oh, fuck.
You know what, Ari's a good example of just what you said you want to do, of just doing shit and whatever. Like
Yeah.
Ari's been that. Like I have this idea for this. I'm gonna just do stories. Comics are just gonna tell stories about
disappearing.
subjects.
He's disappearing right now. He's going to disappear into the world until March.
You know, but he just did it. It's one of those things where you just throw it out there. It
Just
doesn't
do it.
stick. Lock up
Same thing with
the next thing.
With the podcast is like I remember being so nervous to put out my first podcast, and Segura just came over and took my gear and he hit record and he goes, "You're doing it. This is your first podcast."
I was on
There you go.
Rogan's like episode 5. And he had we sat on a couch like this. He had his MacBook Pro here, and he hit record on GarageBand, and we talked towards the laptop. No microphones.
Yeah,
I said to
and now it's a
someone-
whole different setup.
I said
No,
someone
nothing.
said
Yeah.
someone yesterday.
There
They were
might
like,
have been- I don't even think there were microphones.
they were like, "You did Rogan's podcast when it was at his house," and I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Whoa, those are like the golden days." And I was like, it was really weird doing it back then because you just get high as fuck,
Yeah.
and then you walk out and his whole family was there. You're like, "Hey!"
I was in, me and my wife go to these digital detox camps because they're called Camp Grounded, where they take away your phone, no watch, no whatever.
could do that. I
And
could do that.
You're there for like 3 days. So we're buying camping stuff in some random place in North Carolina. And I'm just talking to my wife. I'm like, hey, make sure you get mosquito repellent. And this kid stops and he goes, Are you John Heffron? And then I go, yeah. And he goes, I didn't know what you look like, but I recognize your voice from Rogan's podcast.
That's happened to me.
I'm in Walmart at 2:00 in the morning buying whatever, and this kid is probably 16 years old,
Yeah.
and thought it was the coolest thing. I'm like, I haven't done Rogan's podcast in 2 or 3 years, probably.
Oh yeah,
I
but
think
they
it was the
live on
last time.
forever.
Yeah.
Dude, I was on a plane talking on a phone to someone, and I laughed, and someone got up and turned around. They're like, "The machine," and I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "I recognize that laugh anywhere," and I was like,
Wow.
"Shut up."
Yeah, see, when people see me, they pretty much know.
Yeah, you are fucking. Your
stand
fame
out.
is all over you.
Yeah, I can't hide it.
No hats covering you.
So, someone once called me the world's largest keychain.
That's funny.
So we covered tour dates. You're about
Yep.
last night with Adam Ray. Great podcast.
Yeah.
You guys got to have me on.
We want you on so bad. We want both of you on.
Thank you.
Oh
and
my
then,
God.
John, you got a bunch of series coming out.
I have a podcast with my wife called The Critical 48. We see each other 48 hours a week. It's us kind of fighting and going over what we have to do with the house.
Oh, nice.
It's good. I like it. She's
guys-
not a performer, so it's very interesting.
Do you guys ever have double date couples on?
We have not yet, because I think that's what we should do, is actually
Have
have
other
the comic
comedians and wives.
their wives,
Right.
because that way
That would be great.
It's kind of like a.
And you
well,
can-
don't you hate it when he's only home for a day and
know
he
how many-
trashes
you know
the
how many
house
similarities-
and then he leaves?
How many
Yeah.
similarities
compare.
my wife and your wife would have?
Yeah, they need
It's
that
like,
support group.
Just
when they
horror, just
don't-
horror stories. You know what? I mean, yeah. I would listen to your wife and my fiance just sit around and bitch about their
Yeah.
comedian husbands. I would listen to that podcast.
I'm still laughing at that guy going, "Hey man, can I fuck your wife?" Yeah, that's how that works. Sure. Fuck. All right. Well,
Absolutely.
this has been good, man. And 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Fucking, I love you guys. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate
Thank you. I
it.
appreciate it. Good
Thanks,
luck
man.
with your weight life. Weight life. Weight loss. Shit.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.